Watch it real quick, and I'm out. I'm out of here. Gotta buy something. Alright, let's go. Let's watch it real quick. Let's see what all the hubbub is about. I do not want to watch this offline on my own. Oh god, that is so loud. Wait, why is the game so loud? What the hell? It is added, definitely. Is the game ignoring me? Okay. I'm gonna have to fix this, of course. I hate this so much. Yes, play Quake. Jesus Christ. Thank God Wake's thing is so low. Okay, I'm going to have to make it quieter manually. Because the cool software is malfunctioning. Per usual. Volume mixer. Can I have the volume mixer? Alright. Alright, let's go. Okay, how long is this crap? New game, Quake.
Okie dokie. Welcome,
Okie
welcome,
dokie.
one and all, to yet another episode of Wick TV. It's cross-eyed
Wow,
space.
okay.
Where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. Today, we are going to be talking about edgy jokes, dehumanization,
Edgy
whether or not
jokes.
influencers, public figures, etc. on our side, the
Dehumane.
anti-Trump side, have a responsibility to behave well in public settings. As most of you are aware, after the Texas floods, Destiny put out a tweet saying the following: "I heard God killed those kids because they were using NordVPN promo code Destiny to get around the Texas porn ban." This is not the first time Destiny's engaged in such dark humor. Asmongold recently made a comment that he thinks such statements and jokes are counterproductive and work against his goals. So we're going to talk about it today. Is this humor a good way to expose Republican hypocrisy and raise
What
awareness?
a thing to make a whole panel around Destiny's jokes, Destiny's humor. Because Destiny is so important. Destiny is so crucial to everything around the world. This humor needs to be analyzed, and it's important. It's very important. Very important that everybody pays attention to Destiny's humor.
Of issues, or is it undermining the work of opposing Trump? How dark woke, quote unquote, should we go? Does when they go low, we go lower help us or hurt us? And we've got quite the
Yeah, of course. Destiny's humor is undermining the entirety of anti-Trump movement or whatever. All the protests are just null void now because, you know what? Destiny made a joke. Trump will win the third election. Over.
to talk about it,
So
including the man
stupid.
himself. So yeah, we're just gonna go around, quick opening thoughts, and then we'll get into the meat of it.
Yep.
We're gonna start with counterpoints. Go ahead.
Yeah, so in my opinion, it's not about dark, edgy jokes in particular. Obviously, we all like a good fucked up joke every now and then. That's not the problem. The problem is what is gained and what is lost. Also, the hybridization
Nothing.
of alt media and mainstream media.
Nothing is
that's the real
gained,
question.
nothing is lost.
Just as an example, I did get it confirmed that
Very
roughly
stupid.
billions of dollars were spent on advertising in the 2024
I mean,
election.
Destiny's reputation is lost, maybe, I guess. It's his, I don't know. He makes himself look in a particular way. Or maybe he's just, I don't know, showing his true self. Which, whatever. It's stupid. It's really, really stupid. But if he wants to be like that, then, you know, Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. America's the land of the free. He can do whatever he wants, I suppose. Even make an idiot out of himself. Or of himself. Or
election, and roughly $100 million got spent on newspaper ads by the Democratic Party in 2024. Democrats are scared of alternative media. The reason why they're scared of alternative media is because we have people like Vosh jerking off to kitty horse porn. We have people like Hassan, hanging out with terrorists, and we got Destiny talking about dead kids in Texas and how they deserve to die because they were jerking off to, porn with using a VPN. So this is the kind of shit that is going to push normies away. It's going to push the mainstream away. It's going to push those dollars away. And so as a result, it's not whether or not you can make fucked up jokes. I don't give a shit about that. What I give a shit about is we got real work to do.
Okay, Destiny. Answer your crime.
really stupid humor, by the way.
Yeah, I don't really think there's much of a downside unless you let there be a downside. I think that conservatives are allowed to have humor. I thought comedy was legal again.
I don't know. The downside is that it's really stupid. That's the downside. The stupidity of it is the downside. It's edginess for edginess sake, which is just empty in content, I guess.
And I think that the big issue with Democrats being scared of alternative media is that they're scared of like any environment that they don't have like optimal control over. And I think they dramatically overestimate how much the public gives a fuck about edgy jokes. I think it has less to do with edgy jokes and more to do with who has the power in the situation. And so if you have the power, it's unironically like what conservatives used to say, find out who you can't make.
Yeah, but just throwing out edgy jokes for the sake of throwing out edgy jokes is just meaningless. It just makes you look like an idiot. Quite honest with you. It just makes people not want to treat you seriously. Which, I guess if that's your goal, then that's your goal. Humor is legal again, after all. You can do whatever you want. There you go. Beautiful, wonderful. Glad we have an agreement.
Fun of, and then you'll find out who controls you. And for a lot of things, yeah, conservatives could just make the most insane jokes ever, that'd be fine, and Democrats have to be like tiptoeing around every single topic. I think it's funny to make jokes, and we should keep making jokes. Fuck them.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it, I'm sure.
Wow,
Not so
amazing.
erudite. Kyla, please.
Yeah, so I want to have this conversation because I care what we are.
Intelligent humor is dead. I'm saying that now. Good jokes at least have some sort of thought put into it. Any sort of not this, whatever this is.
All political outcomes. I think if we claim to be evidence-based, left-leaning commentators who want to fight misinfo and push for positive change, we need to be honest about what works. So it's fine for advocacy to reflect our personalities, but if we just do something because it feels good, it's probably important that we don't confuse that with what's effective.
I just
what I would
jumped
argue is we don't have
into
to be maximally
acid.
effective at all times, right? I would never advocate for that necessarily. But
Wow.
the evidence typically shows, whether it's psychological theory or basic behavioral science, that shame and being
All that actually assumes that Destiny actually cares about any of this or anything at all, but very nice speech. Very nice speech about being the intelligent, evidence-based leftists. Quite a big assumption that Destiny is a leftist, by the way. Hold on.
super nasty, typically is a bad. What I would argue for is we don't have to be just do something because it feels works. So I think if we claim to be evidence-based, left-leaning commentators who want to fight misinfo and
Oh, that's a big claim that Destiny is left-leaning, but
change, we need to be honest about what works. So it's fine for advocacy to reflect our personalities,
Left-leaning.
but if we just do something because it feels good, it's probably important that we don't confuse that with what's effective. And what I would argue for is we don't have to be maximally effective at all times, right? I would never advocate for that necessarily. But the evidence typically shows, whether it's psychological theory or basic behavioral science, that shame and being super nasty typically is a bad motivator for change, particularly for people who view you as the outgroup. And so in my mind, if the goal is to move people and actually shifts hearts and minds, we need to make sure that we're being mindful of like how we're coming across, right? If we want to claim moral superiority, well then we can't be doing things that make us look morally more questionable. If we think that scorching or going scorched earth and dunking leads to progress,
Change hearts and
ourselves,
minds.
probably doesn't. And I think one of the things I think is Stephen's strength specifically is his ability to kind of be that token liberal in conservative spaces. I think he's been effective at being like that one liberal where they go, this guy's pretty reasonable, which is
no, he did not. He just makes friends with conservatives. That's not changing any hearts and minds. He did not change Nick Fuentes' mind. He did not change Blair White's mind. He's not that one person. He's just that one liberal that happens to have a lot of right-wing views. That's it. He's not moving anybody. He's just building bridges. Oh, well, was building bridges with the right wing. I suppose he stopped that now. Now he's on a totally different thing. For the time being. But, you know. Holy shit, I've not seen the first Quake like for decades. There you go. This is a special stream just for you before I head out and go to Ukraine again. Yes, that's right. It's the first Quake. And we're also listening to this brilliant podcast about Destiny's joke and how we have to be effective left-leaning people, even though Destiny is arguably not necessarily left-leaning per se, and how Destiny is this voice that, I don't know, pulls people from the right to the left, which is absolutely not true. The only thing he demonstrates is that he is a liberal that has at least a few right-leaning views. Yo, hello, Glitchmaster. Hello, Lucy. Glad to see you playing this piece of cake. Yeah, it is a nice game. I've always liked Quake. All right, let's continue. Let's continue this analysis of deep intellectual thought, deep political action. Apparently, I'm watching this before I head out because apparently Not So Erudite's heart becomes crushed during this panel. Apparently, she's under a misconception that Destiny's a very nice person at heart, well-meaning liberal, neoliberal, that is very nice, and the last true leftist that just happens to be edgy sometimes. And apparently during this particular panel, she's gonna be delivered some rude awakening, which I would like to see, I guess. I'm already hearing some things that I do not agree with personally, like the notion that Destiny is this one rational person that moves the people on the right. It's more like he just builds bridges with them, even though those bridges are now burned because, as I've said, he's doing a whole different thing now. But that's moving people was not a thing that he was doing. As I said a few moments ago, he did not move Nick Fuentes to the left when he ate waffles with him. I don't think anybody would disagree with me.
A fundamental binary paradigm shift for a lot of people listening. And I think that that's really important to do. And my suspicion is that this type of joke, while I don't really care about edgy jokes in and of themselves, my suspicion is that essentially this joke was more offensive than it was funny, and you lost a whole bunch of social capital with people that I think you could be more effective if you maintain that social capital with. I have a feeling that my criticism of Soypel and Steven...
If you're gonna make edgy jokes, at least don't make them brainless, okay? At least don't make them stupid, okay? At least put some effort into your edgy jokes. That's my play. It's my plea, okay? And also, if people cannot really... If people hear an edgy joke from you and think, oh yeah, that's just how you are, then maybe you've sort of missed the point.
Somewhat different, so right now I'm angling the more
That's
Steven,
just
but I'm sure as
Steven.
we talk, there'll be stuff that is more directed at Soypel, so yeah.
We'll get to Soypel in a second. Soypel, speaking of the devil, go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought Destiny's joke's pretty funny, but somehow the right wing was able to capitalize this and shift the conversation from horrible policy by Ted Cruz and the right wing got a bunch of people killed to, oh, some guy was mean. So we're letting the right wing drive this outrage machine. They don't fucking care. Marjorie Taylor Greene can call us all pedophiles. She doesn't get repercussions. The only reason we're allowed to do it now is because they're blocking the Epstein file release. But vibes do matter, and look at the vibe conversation. Like, Kamala didn't lose because she was too mean. She lost because she didn't go on these podcasts where she could be more authentic. Joe Rogan, Theo Von, Nelk Boys, and they tell Holocaust jokes, rape jokes, like all sorts of wild shit. Like, it's this idea that, oh, well, you're not authentic enough, but also you have to be prim and proper and perfect, because if you don't, like, you're not cool. I'm not arguing for there to be no policing. We can call it illegal things like calls to violence, sex crimes, but why waste our time complaining about optics to some arbitrary amount of voters who care about optics over policy? I'm willing to change my mind. I don't know, Kyla, you might have this. If you can show me some data that says, oh,
I have no idea why the US has such fixation with extremely juvenile jokes. They are not even edgy jokes. They're just juvenile jokes. Very childish jokes. 5th grade jokes, or 5th grade jokes. Forgive me, English is not my first language. Forgive me, please, for I have sinned with my anti-edgy attitude, with my soy-pilled brain. I am a leftist after all. I'm the last true leftist of the Eastern Bloc. I'm the Eastern Bloc leftist. The only real one.
voters left the Democrats because of crass humor and meanness, but I've heard far more people say they leave the left because they're policing too much and telling white men to sit down and be quiet. So I say let the white boys have this summer, stop wasting energy clutching pearls at fucking nothing, save it for educating people on policy that actually matters. We tried to go high, when they go low, we lost 2 elections doing it. They're gonna find outrage regardless. It's a waste of time.
Okay, with that, let's open the floor. Go ahead, gang.
So actually, let's go ahead and you tell me, number one, which part is funny. I'll tell you which part is funny to me, and then also tell me where we're talking about Ted Cruz's policy, because that's part of your rebuttal, is that there's this 3,000 IQ appeal to hypocrisy understanding baked into the tweet. So let's see if we can find that through some literary analysis. So I heard God killed those kids. Okay, because they were using NordVPN. I'm not done yet. Oh, you think that's funny?
No, do you want me to tell you why I think the joke is funny?
In a second. So they were using NordVPN promo code Destiny. Hold on, real quick. I just want to explain. The promo code, as much as I hated this fucking joke and it pissed me off, promo code VPN was fucking hysterical. Like, objectively.
Hysterical. Such a low bar for humor. That offends me, actually. It offends me that this is considered to be hilarious. The low bar for humor. It just makes me furious. It just makes me angry. Okay, that... I don't know, is it just a thing in the US that there's such low bar for what is considered funny humor? Oh my god, promotion code, ho 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 ho. Very funny, very cool. Very smart.
What was funny?
That's the funniest part of the fucking joke, right? Okay. All right. Now, to get around the Texas porn ban, gross. The girls who got...
And I thought my humor was bad, by the way. I consider my humor to be pretty... I don't know, unfunny, okay? But I guess I would win some hearts and minds with my humor, considering that people find the promo code bit to be super hilariously funny.
Killed were 8 years old to 13 years old. Okay. Now, where is the appeal to hypocrisy amongst conservatives, and where's the explanation of, like, Republicans canceling funding for ARP for doing the siren in this area?
Well, so you're attacking 2 different arguments in the same breath. Well, one of them you're saying that somehow edgy jokes must also be calling out hypocrisy. I don't think that's necessary.
No, that's the same position that DGG is doing, 100%.
Well, I'm not DGG. If you want to talk to DGG, talk to them. I'm talking well, no, I'm saying that edgy jokes are fine, and we should also be calling out hypocrisy from the Republicans. You don't need to do these things in the same breath. But second of all, if anything, if I'm not mistaken, did Destiny not go on Piers Morgan and then defend the hypocrisy, attack the hypocrisy to like a whole crowd of millions of people? Like, that is a conversation starter, as much as you might not like it.
So Stephen, that's an important question. Did you think that you were going to become is this an avant-garde marketing strategy? Did you think you were going to get invite from Piers Morgan? You're like, I'm gonna tweet out about dead kids jerking off to porn, and this is 100% gonna result in people inviting me onto their shows?
No, I just don't care about anything, and I just say stupid things for the sake of saying them. There you go. That's the secret. That is the thing. Congratulations. Nothing matters, and just say whatever you want, because conservatives say stupid things, so I have to match their energy, and I have to match their energy, and I have to say just as stupid things, because otherwise my life would not be complete.
I would just like to clarify one part of the joke, though. You said that it was gross that they were underage and it was a porn joke. Well, that was why God was punishing them. If they were adults,
I have to clarify my brilliant joke.
God wouldn't punish them, so it wouldn't make any sense, would it?
I have to clarify my brilliant humor.
Wait, to answer the question, because did I know I could? I don't know, maybe not. I generally at this point, when it comes to educating conservatives, I don't necessarily make these jokes with like some huge grand master plan in mind. I just think liberals need to be way less fucking soy about making fun of conservatives for retarded shit. They've like moved the window of acceptable behavior so unbelievably far in one direction that at this point I refuse to be policed by actual subhuman degenerate filth about what we can or can't joke about when they make the most unhinged degenerate.
This is so soy. I cannot stand the soy of it. Oh boy. So Chad, so soy. I cannot believe these are adults speaking, by the way. This is so soy. Promo code. Multi-racist. True and real. Cannot believe that people say soy unironically, completely seriously. Above the age of 12. Like, you're being so soy. I can't believe you're soy jacking the behavior. Why are you so soy? Stop being a soy boy. It's just... I don't know. Is it just me? I think it's just me.
Twitter jokes ever, then I've seen absolutely zero evidence whatsoever that this go low, go high, whatever bullshit has ever worked ever for liberals. It seems like all of the most popular moments have usually been when they're kind of roasting the other side a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. And I feel like liberals are the ones that have the most negative reactions.
Is that why Beto O'Rourke won in Texas? Was because he was being so hardcore when he said that I'm going to take away your AR-15s? Was he giga chatting in that moment? Was that a popular take that he had?
Giga chatting.
I don't know, the most popular take I remember Beto O'Rourke having about weapons was when he said something about like fuck your AR-15s. There's a big deal.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So obviously you can be giga chat about good things, and you can be giga chat about bad things, and you can get punished for being giga chat about bad things.
This is actually used, and ironically, this is used in serious conversation as, yeah, you're giga chatting here. Be a giga chad. Destiny, be a giga chad. Be a giga chat about these things. About the good things. God, goodness. What is even happening? Are you being a giga chat for the right cause? Is the cause just?
Things and rewarded for being giga chat about good things, right? This stands to reason.
I guess. I don't know. That wasn't really a joke he was making, though. He was just saying a swear word, no?
Yeah, but you made the, correct me if I'm wrong, but you made the argument that the time that Democrats have most succeeded is when they haven't been soy, when they haven't been milquetoast, and they've stand on business. Well, I feel like
I don't know if they've ever gotten credit. I don't think they've ever gotten credit ever for being like kind and nice to conservative stuff. I just don't know.
I don't think we're asking you to be kind or nice. I think you could have been incredible.
No. I'm just saying that in general on the Democrat side, this like call to being kind and compassionate and empathetic and understanding. I just don't know if like Democrats have ever gotten credit ever on that.
I wanted to give.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody calls you pussies.
Yeah, I want to give Kyla a chance to get in. She was trying to get in earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I just want to make sure to reframe this because even Soypil's opening made it seem like this is about edgy jokes, which is understandable because I think for Wick it's about edgy jokes. I'm not
Destiny's
really sure.
been very kind
I don't give a fuck
to
about edgy jokes. I don't give a single rip. You make as many edgy jokes as you want to. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. What I care about here.
Wow, that is such an edgy statement in this topic about edgy jokes. So brave, so cool. I haven't heard any. Wow, I'm just destroyed by the coolness of this statement. I don't give a fuck about your jokes. Be edgy. So cool. You're giga chatting about soy pilling, Lucy. True. True. I am a giga chat. That's true. True and real. I threw out my soy milk. Oh no, wait. Never mind. I kept it. I kept my soy milk. Because I like the estrogen in it. There you go. This is so silly. Like, this should not be a topic. This should not be a whole panel. Maybe this should be a mini discussion within a panel, but this should not be a whole panel thing. If Destiny wants to make himself look like an idiot, he is free to do so. It's my stance.
Mentally is our predisposition and how we are willing to talk to the opposing side. And I think that that is something that is decaying, not just amongst leftists, which had never existed, but I'm seeing it decay within liberals, and I think that that is harmful to our cause, right? So in the case of like Steven's edgy joke, okay, well, yeah, unfortunately, it was way more offensive than it was funny. It was a little fancy, it was a lot offensive, and it was made more offensive by the timing. So it flopped to even the point that the left didn't like it, right? But again, I don't really care. I'm not interested in just policing people's edgy joke. What I'm interested in is thinking about how we talk to and engage with one another. For example, Soypil, the way that you talk to Tally on that panel, I think is part of the problem. I don't think that this is how we are ontologically all the time, but I think this idea
ontologically
talk to people of opposite ideas. We go as aggressive as possible, and we try to tear down not just like who they are, but their humanity. I mean, some of the statements that I quoted from you saying I think were like pretty shitty, right? It's not just about you're being a little bit mean. It's this entire orientation which says if we want democracy to work, we have to be able to talk to the other side. And while I'll be the first to say that I think the right is full of crazy people and assholes, they're crazy people and assholes that we have to be able to talk to and convince to our side. And I'm not seeing that like the smug nastiness.
Is this how you're being ontologically every single day? Correct your ontological self. This is such... Is this real human speak? Are these real people speaking to one another? I mean, we're watching live stream from a kindergarten game. This is what kindergarten looks like when with the real characters. That is true. That is true. That is actually like watching a kindergarten game, but with real people in it. True. The dynamics in the kindergarten game play out very similarly. Although I would say that the kindergarten characters are written to be a little bit more mature. Sadly. Oh god.
or scorched earth policy that I would criticize Stephen of with, say, like maybe a Tectone or an Asmongold, is going to be effective for polling particularly moderates and undecided towards our position.
Yeah,
Wait, real quick, just as a real quick thing, isn't that exactly what Trump did with the entire tech bro movement, though? Like, didn't he pull in a bunch of people, like record high Hispanic voters, record high tech bro people, Elon Musk, like with the most divisive and vitriolic and toxic rhetoric ever? Didn't he pull in a ton?
Oh my god, Trump is vitriolic, MAGA is vitriolic, the right is vitriolic, so I guess I have to just match their energy. That's the ticket. I have to be as vitriolic and shady as possible. That's the only way. Thank you. That's totally not just an excuse for me to be vitriolic and shady. No, that's the only way for it to happen. If they do it, I have to do it as well. An eye for an eye. That's what the Bible says, and Stephen is very religious, you see. That's it. He does this out of love for God. Uh-oh, I died. What a beautiful notion. I'm so proud of Stephen Bonnell II, or whatever. This is the best panel ever. I'm glad to have my intimate little audience here with me to experience it, I guess. Beautiful. I've not seen anything more beautiful in my life.
Sure, but people are stupid.
But are we
Hold on, hold on. I want to back
no,
up.
no, people are stupid. Oh, okay.
Let Kylo finish.
The issue is you would have to submit to me
People are
evidence that it was
stupid.
him being a fucking asshole versus Kamala A getting switched last minute so they didn't even know who they were voting for, and B, on top of that, her entire mantra was essentially let's keep things the same when people desperately wanted change. So maybe it was
Kyla, the point
being
isn't that it's attracting voters necessarily. It's the point is that it's clearly not alienating all these moderates, that they're still voting for him in these record high numbers. Like, this
Well,
is
yeah,
some
but hold on.
poison that's going to destroy the Democratic Party and their chances of
Yeah,
winning.
but Tally is the person that's winnable. I watched the Tally bots live and learn bully session.
Tally
and
is
so
stupid, and I don't
Okay,
care
that doesn't
if
matter. By
being
the way,
nice to her is going to win her over. We should be
soy pill.
educating her on policy. That's a
Soy
completely
pill.
different conversation.
Soy pill. Regardless of whether or not you question Tally's individual intelligence, democracy is about appealing to stupid people.
Right, and
I don't know if you knew that. So hold on,
Hold on.
Let Counterpoints finish his point.
I love it when people do this whole thing, oh, democracy is about appealing to the stupid people, because I'm obviously not the stupid person. I'm the smart one. I'm one of the smart ones. I'm actually one of the only smart ones in the world. The rest are really, really stupid. But compared to me, I'm smart. Okay? So we, the smart ones, have to appeal to all the stupid ones. Do you know what that sounds like? That sounds like Soviet Union communism, actually. Okay? That sounds like what Lenin would say. Oh, we need to have this vanguard party to lead the idiots in society because, you know, nobody can actually do anything and they need smart people like us to tell them what to do. I never thought... Who said that? Counterpoints? I never thought Counterpoints was such a communist. But, you know, live and learn, I guess. Democracy is about appealing to the stupid folk. But you know, we are intellectual, we're all the highbrow intellectuals here. None of us are stupid here. Present company excluded. I hate this so much. Can you kill these things for good, or is that like not a thing? Gold key.
Let him strawman me for 5 minutes and I can give my real position.
No.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
take
all
about 1
smart
minute.
people here.
And on top of that, I'll be very precise with my language, which doesn't have anything about your character involved in it, okay? What's funny is...
I am so
Tally
precise
is
with
in
my
a-
language. It's such a streamer thing to say. I am extremely precise with my language. Everybody says that, and then everybody ends up being extremely unprecise with their language. Okay? Who's gonna be the judge of the precision of your language? Like, people think that they're adding some weight to what they're saying when they claim that they're using very precise language. Well, you know what? I'm gonna use some unprecise language. I'm gonna use some crappy, vague language on purpose just to mess with you.
Red state, but she's a blue person. She did not think
A
that her
blue
vote really
person.
mattered, and what she wanted was to do a protest vote, effectively saying the Democrats are not
blue
catering to me
person.
as a part of the base,
Very
and I am your
precise.
natural supporter. And your guys' reaction to
Very precise language. She's from a red state, but she's a blue person. How precise. Precision of a surgeon.
that so far hasn't been, damn, we lost kind of like a progressive, liberal, Jewish girl. What are we doing that's so off-putting? Your entire perspective has been struggle sessioning her and calling her a fucking idiot. Which, by the way, other moderates are going to see, and they're going to be like, well, fuck you too.
I called her a retard, to be clear. And second of all, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be advocating for educating people on what policy affects them and how they should be voting. But clearly, if this person is so adverse to learning about the consequences of policy that whoever was mean to her last, or whatever kind of perception she has of which party is nicer or less adverse, like that's what she votes on. Why would I waste time on this person? Hold on, let me finish. I let you finish your stupid thing. No, so when she is on a platform and the topic is, hey Tali, what do Democrats need to do? That's when I'm going to come at you. For like my channel is about reaching out to Trump supporters, which is a very different thing. I understand the point of compassion, the point of letting them speak, and understanding why they voted so we can change them. But when these pundits are out here saying the dumbest shit ever, displaying their lack of intelligence, I'm going to come out and I'm going to be mean to them because that's my authentic feeling. Is that
yeah, why can't you be intelligent? Like counterpoints. Why can't you be one of the smart ones? Why are you part of the... Oh my god, I died again. Why do you have to be one of the dumb sheep of society? Why can't you be one of the shepherds? Okay? Why can't you be part of the vanguard party? It is the role of people like counterpoints to lead sheep people.
Need to shut the fuck up. That's a very different conversation than trying to convince a swath of people to come over. And these things can be done in parallel.
Okay, so I want to acknowledge what Wick said, which is effectively that she was in an overwhelming blue state, so she didn't think that her vote was going to matter, so it was the opposite of what I said, but the point still stands. Oh, all right, so here's my fucking frustration with this, okay? So I get exactly what you said, and on top of that, plurality of tactics, all right? So if Steven wants to be fucking edgy, you want to have debates, and then you want to be nice to some people but mean to some people, I totally understand the plurality of tactics, okay? But what I'm saying is, there's something so fundamentally obvious that should be acknowledged by every single fucking Democrat and isn't, which is effectively on October 7th, 2023, you had tons of progressives, not just leftists saying, prison, so what was Hamas supposed to do? While there's people getting raped and murdered on Twitter, and then a bunch of Jews go, oh shit, my progressive coalition, my multi-ethnic, multi-religious coalition actually views me as subhuman and laughs when fucking my people get murdered. What the fuck? And they got so turned off, they moved away from the Democrats.
The issue here isn't about edgy jokes. The issue is that legitimately a lot of people on the left supported Hamas terrorist attacking Israel. I think that was the issue.
Well, no shit. That's why I brought it up in my intro.
Yeah, but my intro is no calls to violence.
This isn't an issue of like edgy humor. This is an issue of like really incompatible policy positions, I think. I think the issue when it comes to this like weird like joke or rhetoric policing is you got like, I don't know enough about Tali, but was that her name? Tali?
Tali, yeah.
This is such a deep conversation. I don't know if I can keep up.
But it feels like when talking about her, it's the equivalent of like soy pilled, or the soy pill over here. It's like somebody who speeds occasionally in his car, and Tali is like kind of sort of wanting to support the mob. And then, you know, we've got the soy pill speeding in his car, and we're like, well, she's just not going to side with you if you're a criminal. And it's like, okay, I just don't think speeding is that big of a deal. It's not really about the speeding. It's the fact that how are you aligned with the mob and complaining about one side speeding? That just doesn't make any sense to me. That's soy as fuck, not in the soy pill way, but like an actual.
Yeah, hold on. We have to stop framing this as an edgy joke issue. Maybe that's Connor's issue. I don't know. And this isn't even a moral issue to me, to be super frank. What I'm talking about is effectiveness. I do not think that super divisiveness is what's effective. I don't think it's what's been effective for Trump at all in any way, because he lost in 2016 despite getting smeared aggressively by the Democrats. He still won, had a weak presidency, and then Joe Biden won because everyone was sick of how divisive he was. And then he won again, but again, in large part,
I think Biden won because of COVID. I think COVID fucked the whole world up and everybody's mad, but it's like Trump literally tried to steal the presidency and like people lose as bad as anywhere as they should have, and then he won again. And probably the most divisive president or person period that I've seen in, I don't know, my lifetime. So it just seems like the divisiveness is not a thing that scares people away from your movement. I just don't know where that idea comes from, because like especially if you look at the people that vote for him, white people, like what's the reason they cite the most for wanting to be with Trump? It's like wokeness, which seems to play right into divisive and edgy jokes.
Well, actually, part of the issue is wokeness is something that you guys don't really do. Maybe Soy is leaning into it. I'm not really sure. Wokeness is generally this like PR policy of canceling and like purifying people out of our group to say that they're not good enough. That's calling everyone a racist and all these sorts of things. It's a thing that got you banned off of Twitch, right? It's the thing that if Soy Pill went on TikTok for 1 second, it would get banned.
What? No, that's what the hell is this definition of quote unquote wokeness? That's the stupidest definition that I've ever heard. Wokeness is when you cancel people and you call them racist. Okay, sure. You don't do wokeness. You don't call people racist.
Jokes too, right? So wokeness is incredibly divisive, and it is driving people away because people fucking hate it. And so when I'm talking about being mean, I'm not saying don't be mean. That's never been my position. I'm clearly mean to people all the time. What I'm saying is we have to be mean effectively, and I don't think scorched earth is effective policy. In the case of your joke, it was funny, and I bet you.
Yes, that is the key to effective politics. Be mean effectively. Like Jesus Christ, like people say that the US is out of touch when it comes to war, when it comes to what it is to live in a war-torn country, when it is to living the realities of suffering, actually suffering from something, because America is very isolated, has never been invaded or Well, I think it has been invaded once, but never really been occupied, per se. But now I'm starting to think that America is also out of touch when it comes to political action. Maybe that's why Trump won, because people think that political action is when people are effectively mean. That this is the best way to approach politics. Let's all be effectively mean. Yeah, because that's, for example, how the Soviet bloc fell. That is how Polish people overthrew their regime in the 80s, by being effectively mean.
You gave it 2 weeks to breathe, it might have actually landed super well. Unfortunately, it didn't, because the offensive level was higher than the funniness, probably because of the immediacy of the event happening. Unfortunately.
Yes,
right?
politics when you balance funny versus offensive. Brilliant political theory, as always, from this sphere TM. It's just this is supposedly a serious panel on a serious topic, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the seriousness. I'm not. But I guess this is a formula. It is a formula. Politics is when you balance the funny and the offensive. Oh gosh. Your political message is not very effective. Have you considered tweaking your funny? Or maybe you should be more edgy. Have you considered being less soy? Let's...
I'm not saying don't make it
Like, that analysis can't ever be applied to anything for conservatives, though. Why do we have two
analysis? This is analysis? This is considered analysis? Oh yes, this deep analysis of balance your funny with your edgy. God. Oh. And people wonder why none of this is being taken seriously in the slightest. And people wonder, oh my gosh, why are streamers not treated as serious political advocates and serious political people? Why is this? Why is this happening to us? Why are we being so misjudged? What is happening?
Wait, you should care about it because you're saying you care about political effectiveness. They just won both houses of Congress. They control the Supreme Court. And
Again, political effectiveness is when you skillfully balance offensive with funny. That is the key. That is the ticket. Exactly. You know what? I think Kamala Harris lost the election because she just didn't balance the offensive enough with the funny. I think that's the problem.
Even with the popular vote. So clearly what they're doing is effective. So I don't know how we can say, well, I don't care what this is.
But is what's effective? Calling people rats? Is that what's effective?
I think that's what people like about it. Ask people what do they like about Trump. They don't say the policy. They don't know any of Trump's policies. They don't say
hold on. This is total bullshit. I'm not gonna slide. But I'm calling bullshit right now, okay? So number one, I've had DGG in my fucking comments.
That's actually not entirely true, okay? That's actually I will actually argue that's not true. It's not true that people did not know Trump's policy. People actually were familiar with Trump's policy pretty well during the election. Deport. Immigrants are rapists and terrorists and evil people. We have to get them out of the country. That is policy, okay? Trump has been crying about his policy all the time when he was actually on the whole campaign. This whole campaign he's been crying about this policy that he's actually implementing now. So, like, the biggest... Like, why would you say that? Why would you say that people have no clue what Trump's policy is? Yes, people do know what his policy is. He said that he would end the trans madness on day one, and yes, he is doing a lot of anti-trans policy. He said he would end the war in Ukraine. He is fumbling and bumbling, but, you know, he's doing his best, I guess. People know what Trump's policy is. You cannot say that people have no clue what Trump's policy is. That's inaccurate, actually. Believe it or not.
Last fucking week, because I've effectively had my milquetoast criticism of the fucking take or whatever, and what they've all said is like, well, look at how mean Tectone was, and look how mean and stupid Asmongold is, and look how mean and stupid Donut Operator was in reference to the Palisades fire. And so I go and check the fucking tweets, and they go, fuck you, Biden. So where's the direct analog to this specific behavior where you're making fun of fucking dead people?
Where, first of all, it wasn't just fuck you, Biden. One was a fuck you to a request for FEMA funds, I think. Another one was blaming Biden and calling him old and decrepit for not, for he didn't go to either Texas or California or something. Another one was like making fun of LGBT people with DEI. Is it the exact equivalent? No, but it's like insanely tasteless. What is the...
Is that equivalent to mocking the dead?
Well,
I'm talking about mocking the dead. I'm making fun of the dead right now.
An equivalent to mocking the dead would be all of the Democrats, or not the Democrats. It would be Tim Pool and others who are making fun of the one dude on the street in New York that got stabbed to death in front of his girlfriend. We're like, this is exactly the kind of thing that these guys vote for. Or the go-to example is the...
when they're all burning.
Hold on, this isn't about being critical. This isn't about being critical. This isn't about being critical.
This is bullshit.
No,
I'm not
we
gonna
have to
let
have a higher standard. We already hold ourselves to a higher standard than Republicans. They have no morals. Have you not read Lauren Southern's book? You have people unironically taking money to peddle false information. It's only the right that has done bad things. But the issue is
We already are morally superior and intellectually superior. We're morally superior to the right, and we are intellectually superior to most of society. We should be in charge. Wow. So brilliant. So brilliant. So amazing. It is we that are the moral superiors. Ah yes, Destiny. Riding on his moral shining horse.
Effectiveness, which one is it then? Those are two different things.
Hold on,
well,
and
you're
before we
saying
move on,
that we
I
should do
want to
whatever
issue a
Republicans
challenge.
do because they're already doing bad stuff. And I am saying, I don't know if these are the standards that we want to hold ourselves to. For example, if it is, why don't you just spread a bunch of misinfo and start paying for bot farms? That would be way more
The question is whether we want political effectiveness or moral standards. I think there's a different morality about making fun of people versus like lying about stuff. I would argue these are two different things. But the question is just, are we talking about political effectiveness or are we talking about like having some go high when they go low road moral standard thing?
I want to make one point and I want to challenge the audience, okay? Because what I'm hearing is turnabout is fair play.
I want to challenge the audience because audience is part of society and audience are idiots and I have to challenge them. I have to teach them. I'm gonna teach the audience. Don't worry, I'm your shepherd. God, so self-important. So arrogant. Let me guide you through this, idiots. Also, what is this political effectiveness versus morality? What are your political goals? I'm sorry, your political goals will somewhat inform your morality, won't it? Oh gosh, I've been killed.
And so what I'm looking about is turnabout. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So if you want to come up with other egregious behaviors that the right wing is engaged in, I'm going to agree with you. I endlessly bitch about the $9 billion rescission package that's projected to kill 14 million people. Trust me, I care way more about that than I care about Steven's fucked up joke, okay? However, that being said, if you're going to say, I'm not done yet, Erudite,
I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
you're yapping.
I'm not done yet, Erudite, thank you.
Part
I'm not done yet, Kyla, thank you.
Okay,
I'm not done yet,
let
Kyla,
counterpoints
thank
finish.
you.
Oh my gosh, the peak of intellectual superiority. Oh, did you know that politics is pandering to the lowest common denominator of idiots of society? I'm not done yet, Erudite. I'm not done yet, Kyla. Let me finish. Wow, wow, wow. I'm in a very snarky mood today. I'm not being very nice. Maybe it's for the best that nobody's watching this here stream. I think Glitchmaster left. I think Glitchmaster has vacated the premises. But what can I say? I'm finding difficulty treating this panel seriously. I wanted to watch it before I head out, but you know.
Let counterpoints finish.
Thank you.
Land your plane,
All
sir.
right, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I challenge you. Send it to my DMs. Send it to my email. Show me where these alt media pundits have been shitting on the dead people in the Palisades fires. Send it to me, please.
Kyla, now it's your turn. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. I should go Andrew and Connor. He's my good partner. So the issue for me is that moral standards can be political effectiveness, particularly if they're your espoused moral
bravely defending the right. Well done, counterpoints. You're our hero. We're the vanguard of the intellectual prime.
standards, right? The left typically has stood on some level of moral standards. We think that we're better. We're not trying to steal elections. We're not trying to spread misinformation. We're not trying to take away people's rights. That's the standards that we stand upon, which is why it would be really ineffective advocacy if we say all these things and then there's evidence that we're doing the opposite. This is why MAGA is in an absolute blowout right now, because one of the standards that they cared about was like truth and justice, particularly around the Epstein files, and Trump is completely caving to that. And it is causing a massive Republican fallout. There is massive schism going on as a result of them not standing up to some of their standards. Now, I agree that the Republican standards of being a pundit is not the standards that I want the left to have, but that's because I think the left is right. I think reality leans left, and there are certain standards that I don't want to fall to. And one of the standards, for example, here is one that I actually don't think Republicans fail very hard, which is how we talk to people who we disagree with. Typically, when I go into Republican spaces, they're going to say a bunch of stupid information and they're going to spread misinfo, and at worst, they'll be bad faith. However, if I go into leftist spaces, as you personally know, Stephen, as Soypil, I literally just go on TikTok once and debate people, and I'm sure you'll experience it. The leftists are fucking deranged. They're super nasty. They try to destroy your career, and they morally condemn you along lines and values that you hold, like not being a racist. And so we
Yes,
keep
all the
losing-
leftists are just nasty and horrible. The problem of the world is the left, actually. The leftists are the problem. Those nasty, nasty leftists who are gonna try to destroy you.
these ways because in part we allowed the leftists to set the tone of what the left
Boy.
looks like, which we should have never agreed
Wait,
to at
I'll
all.
interrupt you
But
because
in converse, no, you don't
two
interrupt me. No,
completely
one second.
incongruent-
But in
Let her finish
converse,
and
in
then
converse, yeah, it's a two-parted argument. Sorry, so I feel
God forbid the leftists dictate how the left should look. Yo, what's up, bro? I don't know. Destiny is up. Destiny and his edgy jokes. That is what is up, bro. If you're a big fan of Destiny, then I don't know. You're gonna enjoy this stream. You might be disappointed in my commentary if you're a big Destiny fan, stan, or whatever else. Or whatever you
to
want.
keep up on. Okay.
can do one
The
at a
second part is how we engage with those who are opposite. Some of the most, I will just say this, at the TP USA event, every single conservative that came up was super excited to see Destiny. They're like, he's so good, he's so smart. But man, I wish he wouldn't make fun of dead kids. And all through
Destiny's so good, so smart. What a brilliant man. The standards are so low. Unbelievable. So smart, so great. Destiny, you're my hero. You're the hero that we deserve. You're the hero that we need. What is this emote? I don't think I've ever seen it before.
the canvassing
love
events.
you,
Do you know how many
Stephen.
people came up to me who
We
were
love
conservatives
you.
who were polled because of your red pill art? Where to this day, Myron Gaines respects you because even though you disagreed with them the entire time, and even though you were harsh on it, you were not nasty and you didn't go scorched
Oh, boy.
or you didn't do this like smug condescending shit that like
Oh,
leftists
boy.
and I think soy pill think is based. That was effective. It just was effective, and I think that there was mounds of evidence to support that.
I'm still here. I'm just trying to.
Let's go soy pill and soy pill. And
so
then,
two things. One, on one side of your mouth, you're saying, hey, the left is losing because we're policing and we're woke and we're calling people racist and we have these standards and it's driving people away, which is what is happening when people are.
So to recap, political action is when you mingle with the red pill, when you balance the offensive with the funny. Those are the staples of real political action. These are oh god, I died again. These are the staples of being a real big pants politician.
Complaining about Destiny's joke. Oh, you can't do that. That's crossing a line. And this is exactly what I'm talking about in the beginning when I said there's an authenticity problem where people look at like a Dean Withers and a Harry Sisson, and you just saw him maybe on the Adam Friedland show. He wouldn't say retarded. He's like, I can't do that. That's my democratic, handlers.
Oh,
Won't let me say the
no.
nasty words, and that's why no one fucking likes them because they're lame and manufactured. Meanwhile, you've got all these
True. The only way to be authentic is to be a jackass and say whatever on live TV. Fletch, Polish people. True, I am a Polish people. That is true, Fletch. I am a Polish people. Wow. The only way to be authentic is to be a jackass on live and say all the slurs that you can think of. Kielbasa. Very well. See? I pronounced it for you. Also, you misspelled it. Weissewurst. You've misspelled kielbasa, but I'll
these people
forgive
that
you.
Trump, went on their podcast
You're a
and he
viewer,
appeared authentic to
and
me.
I
That's the
love
reason why
my
people say they
viewers.
like Trump is the being authentic and saying what you feel. And you can say, oh, I don't want to go down to that standard. But in the same breath, you're saying, well, we shouldn't steal elections. We shouldn't spread misinfo. Obviously. But that is not what is happening right now. What's happening is people are policing jokes because, oh, they're too edgy and you're too mean. And
Nope.
when you
Hold
say,
on.
Yes, being authentic is just saying randomly whatever. It's just brilliant. No standards should apply. That is the real way, the only way to be authentic. Wow, brilliant. We all love doctors here. They're my favorite people in the world. Doctors without borders. Brilliant crowd tonight on stream. A crowd of intellectuals.
There's a
saying
wait.
that.
Hold on. No,
Psycho,
hold
stop.
on. I'm sorry. I thought we were
No,
interrupting.
Psycho, you
Kyla.
have to
I thought it was
actually
going
engage
into
my
our time.
argument.
Well,
I don't know how many times I have to tell you it's not about edgy jokes, and if you keep citing that,
before I can finish my sentence.
if you keep strawmanning me, I'm going to interrupt you to correct your perception.
I
of my
know
argument, because you have
you're
to talk
not.
to me.
I know
And
you
stop
think I'm
saying jokes.
criticizing you.
And stop saying jokes, because that's not what I'm saying.
Why are we here, Kyla? Was it not because of an edgy joke?
I literally said at the very beginning that that might be Wick's issue, and that is,
Okay.
but that isn't my issue, and then I
Okay.
gave an entire argument.
I'll say
You
it's
want to
my
engage
issue.
me?
Okay, it's counter. Okay, so you I guess shouldn't be here for the topic of the joke thing. You should be here for the how do we talk to people. And obviously,
hold on.
In fact, I think
Hold
I
on.
texted Wick,
It's all,
and I said
it's all
explicitly,
connected. Let me explain this. It's all connected. These jokes is how we treat people. They feel that you're laughing, but it's true, right? If someone is making a joke, right, about something that someone deeply cares about, and they get deeply offended, this will drive them to act and act against our interests, right? So why do this? What upside, what gain is there? So her take, Erudite's take on political effectiveness is tied into the topic as a whole. That's why she's here. Anyway, continue.
And I'm
I
saying
will-
that edgy. And I'm saying that edgy jokes are
by
part
the
of
way,
authenticity.
fucking weak
that-
shit to have to appeal to the name of the debate so
I'm
that you
not
can get a
calling
fucking
you. I'm
thing
not
done.
saying you're least.
Edgy jokes are authenticity. Brilliant. I'm sitting here just behind on stream at work. Oh, okay. Just brilliant. Brilliant. Just, you know what? Just say whatever. Just say whatever comes to mind. Just vomit anything that comes to your brain. That is the only way to be authentic. I'm totally not strawmanning here, but, you know. I'm a streamer. Strawmanning is my job.
Said,
I'm not
why are
trying to
you
dunk on
here?
Kyla.
Which is so
No,
fucking
oh my
annoying.
God, Kyla, please. We're friends.
Even
I'm not actually.
Also like this stream.
It's humanizing and being
Okay, while you were doing all those silly emotes or whatever, just like the stream. What's your credit card number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Use it. Security number 357. Expiration date 5th of May 2029. Have fun. Have fun with my mass fortune and wealth. Don't spend it all in one place. Listen, I love my viewers, so I share all that I can, including my livelihood. I do my best for you.
Then talk to me.
Okay, so I'm talking to you. So yes, the dehumanizing, nasty, edgy jokes are part of an authenticity that you can see in places that appeal to young voters that are swinging away from the uptight policing Democrats that you are calling the problem, and I agree, is a problem. The over-policing, the wokeness, the left stuff. And just to be clear, I don't think that just dunking and saying, oh, you're racist, you're stupid, is like, oh, it's base, we should always do that. The reason I did that to Tali is
Indeed,
not
I
because
am.
I think that's how you should talk to all Trump supporters. It's when they speak on an authority where they're saying, well, we know what we should do. Is very different from understanding how you can win people over. And this idea that like, well, I have to be infinitely curious about why Tali, this fucking moron, decided to vote for Trump despite being gay, being Jewish, and having all of these things on her, but she doesn't have to be at all curious about why I might call her out about that, why she should vote for a Democrat, is insane. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, and we should be spending it educating people like that on policy and how it's going to affect them, because that's the only way you're actually going to have political effectiveness, not policing jokes. I think it's a waste of time.
Okay.
Sure. So the first thing that you pointed to was a dialectic, right? You said on one side of your mouth you're saying that we should stop
Dialectic.
canceling people out, and on the other side
Oh.
you're now essentially policing me for how mean I'm being. I'm talking about a
Dialectic.
dialectic here. I'm talking about the intolerance of tolerance, right? In the case of purity woke scolding, I think it's bad because I think it derails from the actual ideas. I think it typically targets people that it shouldn't be targeting because endlessly looking for new targets, and I think it kicks out people that we align with fundamentally. I am not sitting here and saying you're not left or you're ontologically
It's
evil.
okay, we're not on TV, we're in the alternative media space, so like whatever. Nobody cares. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's watch some more of this amazing panel before I head out. Also click not top chat, be in the live chat. Not in the top chat. Just remember. It would be nice to get some. How much people on stage have finished going through puberty? Legit question, by the way. None. Are you talking about the panel or the YouTube chat? If you're talking about the WIC panel, then looking at the performance, I have no clue. None. None of them. All of them think that it's all about being either edgy, funny, or the combination of that, or I don't even know. The panel Probably none of them. Yes. Jesus Christ, when I listen to these arguments, it
for
just
these things. I'm saying
makes
you're
me very
ineffective,
discouraged.
And it's betraying our own moral standards that I think we have erected and I think we should stand to, which is that we want to engage with each other and we want to be able to talk to the opposing side. I
But
think
these
that's
things aren't mutually
Erected.
exclusive. That's what I'm saying. And also, can you please, like, because I don't have data on this, and this isn't me like calling you out, could you show me where there's this like swath of voters that are turned off by this and didn't vote because of it, versus, which I think there's probably more data for, who is saying, well, I'm looking for an authentic Democratic Party, which I think edgy jokes like this, as much as you might say, hey, they're ineffective, I think they're much more
Never
effective.
said edgy
especially
jokes
to a
are
younger-
ineffective.
Let's
Never
get
said
into-
edgy jokes are
let's-
ineffective.
Okay,
let's
well,
get into
whatever
I'm
way
sorry,
you want to.
if you want to talk, no, well, if you want to talk to me, just ask me my opinion, right?
Can
What
you
I
give
would
me
say
the-
is,
when I repeat this
yeah,
so I don't
dropping
say it wrong.
retard, well, it's not just don't say it wrong, it's understand my position. That's
Right,
what I'm
right.
asking
So
you to do.
you say political effectiveness. This joke itself was offensive. What about it was not politically effective? And then I will use that language every time I reference it. I'm not trying to strawman you. I'm literally just trying to repeat what you said. Sorry.
I'll tell you, talking about, you know, prepubescent kids jerking off, that's probably the least politically effective aspect of the joke.
Wouldn't it be schlicking in this case because they're mostly girls?
So to be clear, there's not going to be political data that you're asking for. In large part, I think Blue Rose openly, actually David Shore talked to me about this and I asked him why he didn't
I
vote.
can't believe this is a serious topic of conversation, by the way. Jokes and their political effectiveness. How do you pose cuss? Slow down the video, please. What do you... I haven't slowed down the video. Have I? It's still sped up, 1.5.
Like wokeness as a reason why people voted, and he was like, well,
The video
there's a 40
sped
things,
up.
there's kind
I
of
don't know if you've noticed.
He agreed. Probably it actually should have been included. It would have been interesting.
1.5.
I don't have this data to give you. People like, well, man, Destiny was really mean this one day to me, so that's why I voted for Trump, right? What I do have is psychological theory, right, about how people work. And what we're talking about here is
Psychological
changing
theory.
minds. We're
Come on. Like, drop the stupid language. Please talk like a human being. I have a psychological theory. Come on. Are you serious? Why is it sped up? Because it's too slow on normal thing. Okay. If it's too fast for you, then maybe you should consider keeping up. My god, I have a psychological theory.
changing fundamentals.
I'm a psychologist, so I have a Drop the edgy jokes, work on your communication skills. That is my advice. That is the only advice that I can give. Video has been sped up to on the libs, true. Like, that is the only actual real advice that I can give. Drop the edgy jokes, drop the balancing of funny versus offensive, and just learn basic communication. It'll go a long way. Truly. Oh, listen, is this how you are ontologically as I present my psychological theory on what is occurring right now? Okay.
Or deep things
Sure.
to people's worldviews. And these are really, really
Sure.
hard things to change, as anyone in psychology can tell you. And what I'm saying is that while edgy jokes can be useful because
As
it code switches
anyone
these
in
up, like
psychology
Churchill, you don't
can
give a fuck
tell
about
you.
the PC shit, and you can make a joke and
Oh,
roll with it.
God.
The problem is that when you're smug, condescending, and nasty all the time.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, but saying stuff like, as anybody in psychology could tell you, is among the most condescending stuff that I can think of. And then you're saying, please don't be condescending. Are you kidding me? Please learn some self-reflection, some... Wow. Brilliant. Amazing. Is this how you are? Ontologically condescending?
What it does is it doesn't code switch to anyone. Typically, people don't like condescension at all. In fact, that's why I think on your panel, people were more mad at you
And yet,
than Sansal, who was saying put Republicans in gulags, which is way more extreme than anything you were saying. It's because you're being smug the whole time. So it rubs people worse. And in general, shaming people for deep intrinsic beliefs doesn't cause people to change. In fact, there's a dearth of data. There's a large amount of data that shows
Okay, I
it
need
causes
better
people
weapon.
typically to become defensive and move more towards their original position.
Okay, so my position is not we should be shaming people in mass to change their votes. So I mean,
After
if
you're
you wanna
done, we're
get
gonna
into my
give
position, we can do that too.
Yeah. Okay. Counterpoints.
Yeah.
Please.
So I don't want to be exclusively in political commentary for the next 20 years. Okay, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my camera while I talk, just because my toddler is refusing to leave the room. So, anyways, the point being that I am about political efficacy insofar as we're trying to figure out how to combine alt media and normal media. Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out how to do. We're also trying to figure out how to get mainstream politics to talk to alt media political people. Okay, and what's happening is we're talking about this fucked up joke, and I am here to police the jokes a little bit, and I'm bringing it up, and Steven's probably the most successful person here, and he's like, lol, wouldn't it specifically be female style of masturbation? And I'm telling you, that's the exact kind of fucking thing. It's funny. I'm not gonna say it's not funny, but that's the exact kind of thing that if I try to book with a mainstream person and I say, oh, hey, you know, I have this guy, he's huge in alt media, he's got tens of thousands of listeners, he's got millions of post-recorded views, he wants to canvas, he wants to be active, can we do an interview together? And then if somebody takes that clip and they blow it up and be like, isn't that the guy who talks about like prepubescent female masturbation? And they're gonna say no. So you're right, I do want to police your jokes a little bit.
Yeah, but like, what's the worst part? What's the worst part?
I mean, it's like what I said. If you wanna make an idiot of yourself, that's your prerogative. If you don't want to be treated seriously ever by anyone that's actually serious, then go ahead, say your stupid jokes. Do whatever you want. Be authentic. Be your authentic self. You have my blessing. Be yourself.
That would make
unapologetically.
Well, I would say probably your abrasive personality in sex dramas.
No, I would say it's the fact that I'm on the left. You don't have abrasive personality in sex dramas. Andrew Tate was like the leading.
Wait, hold on. What?
Red pill
personality in sex dramas
would make me unbookable. Do you know what it is?
Is this a joke? This has got to be a joke. Destiny claims that the thing that makes him unbookable is that he is on the left. Yes, of course. Yes, his radical left-wing beliefs. That is what makes him unbookable.
Well, I would say probably your abrasive personality in sex dramas.
No, I would say it's the fact that I'm on the left. You don't have abrasive personality in sex dramas. Andrew Tate was like the leading red pillar for 2 years, and the conservatives
That's actually a
loved
decent
him.
point.
And
So,
was
I mean,
invited
like,
into the White House, by the way, and like
Yeah.
that's not stopping any of these people from getting invited on shows. If anything, the problem you're describing, Connor, is that the left needs to be less uptight about who they invite on shows. Which, by the way, they're pivoting to. I don't know if you've heard like the Washington Post story from today, but they are realizing that like disowning people, over policing for this kind of stuff is a waste of time. And it's not working.
Yes,
And
Andrew
I think
Tate,
it's like,
the vanguard of politics.
People love condescension. They just like it when it's on their side. People absolutely do. You can see a billion people looking at Trump and everybody else being condescending as fuck to their political adversaries. People like it. They just like when it's directed at them.
It bolsters
Exactly,
your own
yes.
side, but that's not effective.
Yes, that is just Andrew Tate, perfect example of the vanguard of politics. What is this conversation? You can say the Ursula on cable television, you can be edgy on CNN or MSNBC program. PP smile, wink wink, wow, okay, that sucks. That sucks. Oh no, I cannot be authentic. I am being censored. What will I do? Life is unfair. Life sucks. I want to be authentic.
In polling the opposite side, which is what
Politics
you guys
isn't won by polling the opposite side. The goal shouldn't be how do I appeal to my diametrically opposed political enemies at all points in time. At some point, you
how
have
do
to
I
have.
appeal to moderates? It should be how
How
do I
about
appeal to
appealing to our
it's
own
not
side of
moderates.
people that like can go out and vote? How about appealing to like your own party members that are like these are Democrats and feel demotivated as fuck and don't like to actually go out and do anything because our whole party is just living constantly in the criticism of conservatives who have never in their lives considered criticism from the left.
Stephen, part of why you're effective is because you can do both. And what I'm saying to
I'm
you
not
is
a politician, so there's like a double. It's careful. I'm not trying to get elected, so there's like a different type of thing that I'm
sure,
going for. I'm
but
just
you're
saying,
gonna
like,
rally
people on the
behind
right.
politicians and
Effective in what? What is Stephen effective? What exactly is Stephen effective at? I'm tired of this rhetoric of Stephen being effective. What is he being effective at? He is effective at growing his viewer base. He is effective at growing his purse. There is one thing that he is genuinely effective at, and that's just a side effect of what he is effective at primarily. That people can utilize his big audience to direct him at better goals, like, for example, getting donations to support Ukraine in its struggle against Russia. But that's not something that Steven as a person is effective at. It's just a side effect of him having a big audience. Like, come on, let's be real for a second. What is he so effective at? Apart from his own personal growth. Has he done anything worthwhile at all? I mean, I don't know. If you have anything, link it, list it. I don't know. Point me to the effectiveness, please. Because I might be uneducated on that front. I'm just a very ignorant Polish person. I live here in Europe, Eastern Europe, so I might be just too silly to see the obvious, which is the effectiveness of Steven as he juggles the intricacies of funny versus offensive for the sake of
That's
real,
when you're
real
very
political
politically
action.
active. What I'm saying here is that, like, I guess to Soy Pill, right? I understand that your
Come
position is
on,
something
stop. Don't do this. Don't do this to me. Stop using these terms unironically, please, for the love of God. We have to put these terms to rest. Soy pill. It just makes you sound stupid and unserious. Okay.
people to get them to change their votes. Got it. My criticism to you on the tally things.
I hate it when people do this. I hate it when people do the whole, oh my gosh, let me preface this by saying that I might be soy pilling a little bit right now. I'm a little bit... Okay, shut up. Just say what you're gonna say. This is horrible. This... How did we end up here? How did we end up in such... It's such a weird... I don't feel like I'm listening to human beings anymore, like that are communicating with one another. Like, talk like normal people, okay? That's again, I'm gonna repeat this brilliant piece of advice. Talk like normal people, and then maybe your political effectiveness will maybe a little bit skyrocket. If you stop with the weirdo lingo. Listen, as I soy pill a little bit, I'm gonna tell you ontologically my psychological theory. Stop. Get help.
Specifically is that when you're mean to Tally and when you talk about her in such a smug, condescending, and disregarding way, you're signaling to her and everyone like her that basically you look down at them as subhumans. None of those people.
Hold on, I never used the word subhuman, but I do look down on them, and I'm going to be very explicit in public about that. And I think that anger is the same thing that a lot of people who are disaffected on the left who feel like they don't have people who will go out and say what people like, you know, the same people that say, oh, Trump says it like it is. There's a swath of leftists who are like, why are these Democrats being so fucking nice to these people that are killing my family, who are stripping their rights away? And I'm like, hey, dipshit, you should not be the authority here. That's very different from reaching out to specific voters. And if people clip that, whatever, but we tried being perfect for 2 fucking elections, and they're going to clip everything from the perfect party of like the most. Wait, hold on, these smug liberals who are going high get clipped.
We've never gone high.
Things.
No, stop this. It's never gone high. The Democrat Party has never gone high.
Of course you've gone high.
Never gone high.
Enough in the Clinton.
Oh wow, this has devolved really quickly. These are the people who call leftists ineffective and cringe. True. What a joke. Maybe they've been affected by the leftist virus. Condescendingly soy-pilled, like unironically true. Oh.
Era. Oh, oops.
Hold on. My only question to you is the Tally conversation. Is it effective? That's all I'm
Wait,
asking.
can we real quick?
No,
what
it
happened in this?
wasn't.
Wait, real quick.
No,
What
it's
happened in this Tally conversation?
I'm saying no. It was not
Wait,
effective.
what happened?
A
What was the
TLDR.
conversation?
A TLDR.
Can we summarize it? Yeah.
Sure.
This is some of the stupidest discourse that I've heard in a while, and there's apparently, supposedly, an intellectual titan in this conversation, Stephen Banal II. He's very smart, very effective, and yet I'm not seeing it. I'm not getting the intellectual prowess of Stephen right now. Okay, I would love to. I would like to get some of that political effectiveness right now. It would make me feel really good, but I'm not getting it. Why I don't deserve anything nice. Look, at least I'm giving you something nice to look at while I'm watching this panel. Quake. A classic game that everybody should enjoy. That everybody should finish at least once.
I had Stardust and Short Fat Otaku or Dev on my show to talk about did Democrats and Tolly. It's a Wicked Tolly show.
Intellectual
every week.
giants.
So our guests were Stardust and Dev.
Stardust
and the subject was,
and
did Democrats contribute to the rise of
Short
modernism?
Fat
So we talked
Otaku.
about that. Soy Pill ranted and raved in chat and started DMing me saying he wanted on. And so about an hour in, I let him on, and he started going after Tolly and calling, like, why are you even here? Why are you on this show?
Tolly voted for Trump and was speaking as some sort of like, what should the Democrats be doing?
Listen, start telling Quick to get me on the show. I'm gonna be the intellectual giant. The leftist intellectual giant. of this whole thing.
moving forward when she does not give a shit about policy, which she admitted multiple times, raised her hand to say she was a vibes-based voter, like when questioned about specific things like January 6th, which she acknowledged is bad and knew all the details of before voting, still did not care. So it's like, why waste any time, one, listening to this person for advice, and two, not shaming this person out of the fucking space for having absolutely nothing to contribute and admittedly being retarded. That's very different.
But you
from talking
already
to a
acknowledged.
voter.
You already. It's not that different because Tally's
It's
much
100%
closer.
different.
It's much closer. Tally is a voter, and she's basically.
You know what? I'm gonna
I
say
will
it.
shout
I'm gonna
that.
say it right now. Saying slurs does not make you authentic. It just makes you feel childish. Like a child that just, oh my god, adults swear. That is what adults do. So I gotta swear as well. Because it's so authentic. No, it's not. It's just silly. Being an adult is not when you just... And being authentic is not just saying whatever you want, wherever you want. Again, vomiting whatever comes to your head is not being authentic. It's just being stupid. Whatever. What do I know? I'm not a big, popular, successful streamer, so maybe I'm just in the wrong here. I'm not the omniliberal. Wick TV, more like Bollocks TV. That's true. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'm gonna be right back. This is just brilliant. This is brilliant entertainment. Talking about jokes and political action through balancing the all-important funny versus edgy. Also, you should swear more. You'll get views. Thank you. I will. Bollocks. Blimey. Crap. Oh, you got the ambience of Quake working. Usually that doesn't work out of the gate. Yeah? Yeah. I do like Quake though. I do like Quake. I guess I'm lucky. I've always liked Quake. I've always... It was such an upgrade from Doom. I swear to God. I think my trajectory was Doom and then Quake. And Quake felt like such an upgrade. It felt incredible. The graphics felt incredible when it first came out. You're not gonna tell me that the graphics of Quake did not feel incredible when it was fresh. It did. Okay, trust me when I say. And it's still enjoyable. It's still quite playable. Actually, Doom 2 is still quite playable. That's not... That's neither here nor there. I guess there's something to the simplicity. There is actually a certain level of charm to those doomer shooters, really boomer shooters, when you don't have a story, don't have anything, you just roam around and kill stuff. And it's all very simple, it's all very... You know, there is a certain level of charm to it that you don't get with the more intrinsic, like, sophisticated games.
Tally, if you think that Tally is like distinctly more stupid than the average voter, I don't know what to tell you.
I didn't
but
say
most
that. I
voters
said that
are-
she's a pundit, which is different from talking to
She's
someone that I'm
barely a
trying to
pundit.
convince.
She doesn't even have.
She's
like,
in a public space and I'm
viewers
yelling at her for
screen.
that, Kyla. So if I'm talking to
You've
Matt
already
Walsh, do I have to
said-
be nice to
you've
him so that I
already
can
said-
convince the Republicans?
I'm
It's
sorry,
always like
there's
Matt
some people-
Walsh.
There's some people that deserve scorched earth. The issue is you already said it's not effective. My
I
question
said that
is
conversation was
why?
not an effective one, no.
So why are you defending it?
Because it's an actual authentic expression of my anger at someone stupid
That's
being used
fine.
in a position of
That's
authority, and I
fine.
think it's fine to do that every once in a while. It's not
I agree. I actually agree with you.
Oh,
I agree, which is why I said in my opening statement.
I did not know. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. This is a very silly conversation. Like, I'd rather talk about Quake and the band that... I'd rather talk about Nine Inch Nails than this, but you know what? This is what I'm here to do as a political commentator.
Don't expect you to be perfect in your advocacy. But if all you have is conservative fatigue, and that's why you're taking it out on them, again, it's fine. But what I'm
we
talking
agree, 'cause
about
that's not all
is
I have.
efficacy.
Okay, okay.
Is there, wait, I'm just curious. Wait, on the telling, would it be more effective to spend an hour roasting the fuck out of her and getting a bunch of other people to laugh at her, or would it be more effective to spend an hour trying to convert her to vote differently when she probably won't? I feel like you just make fun of these
She
people.
definitely will vote differently, is my suspicion.
She said she wouldn't. She literally said, "I actually don't know if I'd vote for a Democrat." After 3 different shows, your show, Live and Learn, and
Yeah,
our
at
panel,
this
she
point,
after
I-
all
Yes,
the
because you
time
spent the whole time
why
calling her
did you-
retarded.
Of course. She's literally gone on a circus chase of every liberal getting in
You
their
were
lips
nice.
on
You were
stupid.
nice.
Yes. Oh,
Did it work?
I was nice.
Did you
You're
change
right.
her?
I was nice.
Did it work?
Yeah, when 4 out of 5 people are bullying the fuck out of you and one person is nice, why would you be like, oh yeah, it turns out actually
Wait,
everybody in this tribe is great. So I
let
feel
me
fuck
clear,
this.
it's
I'm
5
waiting
out
for
of
10
6.
goddamn minutes
5
to
out
see
of 6.
fucking rant.
5
Shut
out
the
of
fuck
6
up.
people
Shut up.
were
Shut up.
saying.
I'm talking. I'm talking. I don't want to hear
My
anyone
whole
else. I don't
point
wanna listen.
is there are other people like
no,
Ellie.
still talking. White man, sit down. Listen, Jesus Christ. So anyways, the whole fucking point of this is that you were like, oh, Democrats were so nice over the past fucking 10 years. Where the fuck was that? What the fuck are you talking about? The whole goddamn reaction of the right wing has been to snide, smug, far left dickbags running fucking
Yes. The problem is that is the true problem. Okay. What? So out of touch. Yes, the streamers. They're gonna be the vanguard to change the hearts and minds of voters. What a joke. What a joke. Edgy jokes. Nel Shadaka. It's all about edgy jokes, and according to some on this panel, real political advocacy, real political action is about the careful balance of funny versus offensive. Edgy. Okay, this is where you truly become politically active, when you grasp this delicate balance of edgy versus funny. That's where it's at. Exactly. Also, leftists suck. Leftists are the scourge of the earth, and according to Nacho Erudite, the left wing should never have been given to the leftists, because that makes perfect sense. I have some edgy jokes about what I want to see happen to. I don't even know. Okay, my father was a leftist and he was effective, so the whole idea that leftism, quote unquote, TM is ineffective is just ridiculously silly to me. It's just the most ridiculous notion, okay? Okay, oh, so when in the 80s the leftists in Poland overthrew the government, you know, the oppressive government that put people in jail and repressed free speech, when that ended, I guess, you know, that didn't count. That was just, you know, that sort of effectiveness does not count. And yes, a lot of the people that did that were actually leftists, believe it or not. And if you say that the only anti-communists, quote unquote, were the right wing, then you don't really understand the topic, I think. From when was this panel? Last night. This happened last night. But I'm watching it. Because apparently Nacho Erudite's hopes for Destiny were crushed, and I'm here to see it. I want to see it happen. Because apparently that just happened in this
For a
panel.
decade, running social media for a fucking decade. That's why Elon bought Twitter. Not just that, but in 2016, I wasn't going to vote for Trump, but I wasn't going to vote for Hillary Clinton either, because jihadist terrorist attacks were happening every other goddamn month, and the Democrats were talking about bringing in 250,000 new fucking refugees. Not just that, but in 2020, no, I'm not done yet. Thank you. I listened to you.
Yes, jihad attacks is when you bring in refugees, because that is intrinsically connected. Thank you. And this guy says that politics is appealing to the lowest common denominator and that everyone's an idiot. This guy. Can't believe we is still doing this in 2025. I mean, you know,
5 minutes.
you do what you gotta do to pay the bills. or whatever.
For fucking 3.5. So, the other thing is, in fucking 2020, we had the goddamn Summer of Love, where basically, like, not only did we have the COVID lockdown bullshit, but we also had BLM going on and people saying fiery but mostly peaceful protests. Do you know how oftentimes I see that bullshit where Democrats, regardless of all the fucked up shit of Trump, again, I can list all the fucked up parts of Trump better than you can. Summer of Love, Chaz Chop, Sweeping for Jihad.
Oh, is Counterpoints one of those people that cried about the COVID restrictions? Everyone's an idiot, including him. No. He's the smart one. He obviously is the intelligent one.
Sweeping for BLM is still brought up, and that's not good behavior.
Yeah, none of that is anything we're talking about regarding mean comments. If you want to talk
Yes,
smug
it is.
pro
You said that you were on your
questions,
best behavior for a decade and it didn't work. Don't gaslight me in real time, you
why is
fuck
saying, why is saying
You're
fire
You were on your
gaslighting
best
me.
behavior for 10 years and everything I listed was your best behavior?
Calm down.
No,
You're
I won't-
gaslighting me. I thought that was woke language. What happened? I thought Counterpoints was not woke. You're gaslighting me. Oh no. Oh god. I think Wick is not getting funded anymore by Progressive Victory.
Okay.
Don't tell me that.
I'm
You're
gonna-
fucking lying to me. Don't lie to me.
Okay, fiery but mostly peaceful. That's Democrats being mean.
Wow.
It's Democrats sweeping for the BLM riots of 2020. It's
that
bad
the
To be
Is that
behavior.
what
clear,
we're
in the,
talking
in the entirety of all,
It's
we have
bad
the fiery but mostly peaceful from the one CNN Chiron or whatever,
yeah.
the Chiron, that one thing
Okay, come on,
compared to
gaslight me and then gaslight you right back.
Let this
wait,
go,
you guys,
please.
hold on, just to be clear, we're comparing that to the entire subhuman conservative apparatus claiming that Haitians in the United States were eating cats and dogs, and that message got repeated by the president of the United States of America on a debate, and then it was repeated by the vice president, JD Vance, and he said, I knew it was a fucking lie, but it gets people talking. And now you want to hold us to some standard of, well, remember when that one CNN during the BLM riots had the thing in the back? It's like, fuck that bullshit. Make fun of dead kids and fuck all of it. It's fucking retarded.
Wait,
The narrative is so insane.
The argument does
Political discourse has reached new heights over here at the Wick TV panel. What an amazing development. I am loving this. It's just, we're surely to get some amazing political epiphanies and some political, I don't know, breakthroughs.
doesn't need to be that Dems were wholly imperfect and that Republicans are bad. Republicans
I keep being reminded by liberals that Counterpoints is supposedly the moderate conservative. Oy, oy, oy.
are way worse than the
Oy,
Dems
oy,
have
oy.
ever been. It's just annoying when you guys are being like, the Dems have always played it high. 2016, Hillary was not playing it high. It was
Can you name one
absolutely
non-high
dirty.
comment that she said?
Okay,
What was her?
wait,
She
that's
said
like
basket of deplorables, right? And they're still holding that over. Like,
Okay,
that's
who
just-
is Danabo? Who's Danabo? Okay, who are we talking about now? Who's Danabo? Oh, Dylan's editor Danabo. Listen, Danabo, written with an A, okay? Danabo is a very friendly chap, okay? Helped me a lot with my dual streaming, actually. I actually DM'd him about the dual streaming thing. And he helped me a lot. Dylan's friend, he swept for him hard a while ago, but it's okay. Wait, he swept for Dylan or for who? For whom did he sweep? Oh, he's fine. He's just a bit of a tit. Oh, listen. I feel like, I don't know. My interactions with Danabo has been very amicable. Very nice. Which is why I'm able to dual stream right now, because he has given me his technical expertise. Alright.
The
That's
entire
what we're making
campaign
a good
was
point to.
smearing
I just
him.
want
The
to be clear.
entire campaign was smearing him.
I just want to be clear. Stop.
Political campaign is
Hold
smearing
on.
him.
Hold on.
All of the news. The news.
Hold on.
The news.
Hold on.
Okay, wait.
Hold on.
You're
Hold on.
accurately smearing us your problem.
No. Yeah,
Okay,
what is this?
this
We're
is
talking
a
about
mistake.
going
Soy Pill,
low.
you're making a
Is
mistake. Soy Pill, you're making a mistake. It's not just about what the politicians say. It's what about your side says. It's what about your culture says. And you would be have to have not lived through that time if you thought the Democrats, I'm talking about the people, I'm talking about the rank and file, treated Republicans or even moderates well. A lot of people disowned their families, right, during that time because they thought they might be voting for Trump, right? They literally won't talk to their families. They literally excise people from their friend groups. It was a huge issue, and it turned off a lot of fucking
I
people.
don't disagree with this, but the problem is, I guess we're gonna keep inflating these different parts of what is being mean, right? But this whole strategy.
Is that not being mean?
Hold on, no, excising your family, by the way, is a very mature thing to do if there's crossing a line that you think they shouldn't cross, and I've done it before, and that's very.
I mean, yeah, my grandfather did it during World War II. He actually cut off quite a big chunk of the family. But that's neither here nor there. Counterpoints. Oh.
different from, hey, you're a fucking idiot, no one should talk to you, you don't know how to vote, which I agree turned some people off in 2016. I know a lot of people who were turned off from the Dems by that. But when I'm talking about they go high, we go high, they go low, that is a very different strategy. That is, hey, these people are smearing and calling names and like dehumanizing, and we're not going to do that. That is what the Dems have been doing up until about like the weird comments. Or maybe
I
like,
do actually agree.
Irrelevant point, so I won't
oh, will you shut up? You know, this is what we're talking about. And yeah, you can talk about the populists. Obviously, they're going to be way more, edgy than the politicians. But the politicians of the right are going low every single time, and it is not hurting them.
Okay, I have a relevant point. I want to make it before anybody else fucking gets in. Don't piss on my leg and fucking tell me it's raining.
I actually do agree that sometimes it's fine to, cut ties with certain family members if it's just, bad for you across the board.
Kyle Rittenhouse specifically. I already know that this is a perfect point about Democrats misbehaving very badly in reference to this because Steven recognizes this point. All the progressives, all the fucking libs, and the mainstream media establishment, and the president of the United States himself ran with the narrative that a 16-year-old kid grabbed an assault rifle and committed a mass shooting against BLM fucking protesters and killed 3 black people in Kenosha, Wisconsin. But as soon as you watch the fucking video, it's obviously not true. Now, Steven,
I don't disagree with you.
I'm not going to back you up.
No, let him finish, please.
The reason why I respected Steven so much was because he was willing to pursue truth, political side. I actually stopped respecting Bosch as much because he went exclusively with what was convenient to his political side. So if you guys start engaging in that behavior, I will lose respect for you.
What did Biden say? Didn't Biden say that he would respect the court's decision on the Rittenhouse case?
Yeah, he did. He also retweeted out a video calling him a white supremacist mass shooter.
So, hold on, wait. It was it was implied with the way that the compilation video, but the fact that you just said that is crazy.
Do you think that it matters that the president of the United States calls you a white supremacist mass shooter? Obviously, it does.
I think that if you're going to obsess over a single video that was made, that he retweeted on his account, and you're going to claim that, oh my God, this was so horrible, and ignore the 50 trillion insane things that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, the leader of MAGA and the Republican Party, says daily, that's a standard that we're never going to win, which is why we just make fun of dead kids and everything else, because you're never going to appeal to people like you. You'll always be able to find one person. You'll always be able to find one bad person on Twitter, one bad lawmaker, whatever, one bad person that says anything, and then meanwhile, Republicans are like,
we've went so far away from the jokes and the edginess. You didn't lose respect for him watching Lolly? Interesting. To be fair, that was before. To be fair, the whole Rittenhouse fiasco was before the Lolly crap. Really? That was what he lost respect for Vosh? Not the obvious? I mean, didn't all that happen before? The short stack goblin revelations? Wasn't that like 2019 or 20? 2020? When people were arguing about Rittenhouse? To be fair and balanced and intellectual and cool about all this, because I am, as you know, the only intellectual left in the space, the only fair person.
rapid firing out the most instant things ever. You want to talk about Rittenhouse? What about George Floyd?
Okay, Steven, you've gotten lazy in your argumentation. I'm not that guy. I talk about George Floyd. I talk
I'm not talking about you.
I spend 90% of my time.
This is about you.
90% of my
time. Again, we get the cream of the crop of the top of the shop in this amazing panel. Amazing. I love it. You gotta love it, right?
Hey. Criticizing the fucking right because they've lost their fucking mind.
This isn't about you. Huh? This is about the electorate.
It's about you.
No, it's not about me. It's about the electorate. I thought we were going to talk about the electorate.
It's about you.
What is it about me? I'm voting for probably no matter what.
Engaged in bad behavior that I think is ineffective and counterproductive, and I don't like it.
That's why I'm talking to you. Conversation is about the tallies.
It seems to be that everybody on the Republican side can be the most degenerate fucking people they want, and they don't. It's
not giving them that permission or license.
But it works.
No, it doesn't. It's destroying the fucking country.
They can be degenerate and awful. Why can I not match their energy? That is the solution. It's like looking at a dictatorship and saying, wow, the only way to beat this dictatorship is for me to become an even bigger dictator. You know, I have to overthrow this big dictator and then I gotta become an even bigger dictator because it works. That's really stupid, okay?
It works for their party, it works for them to win elections.
So then why don't we just start doing misinfo? Why don't we just start doing misinfo?
Because I think misinfo is bad.
Yeah, so is like treating other people like they're subhuman. I didn't say
But you know what? I'm gonna say it. If it works so well, then fuck it. Why even pretend to be left-wing at this point? Being right-wing, being a far-right lunatic works. Just become that. Just own it, okay? It works. It works to win elections. Just become that, okay? We cannot just selectively pick and choose what you think is cool and edgy and be like, oh, it works. It's just, you know, this just works. Look at those people. It worked for them to win the election. It's just, yeah, they're also far-right lunatics. So maybe you should just embrace the whole package and just switch to that completely, since it works so well. Who even cares?
Being condescending to somebody is not a morally horrible thing to do. It's just
Nobody
rude.
fucking said it was, Steven.
And why are you lying?
Because I'm talking about efficacy.
We're not talking about efficacy for forsake morality. What's the difference between being condescending or telling
Part of
me
our
jokes
morals,
than
I
lying?
thought, is that we can actually talk to the other side and engage with them, not go scorched earth all the time. I thought bipartisanship
It's not
was some of the
immoral.
values. Yes, they are more deplorable in every single way. I will just grant this to you every single time.
Kyla,
But what
how
I'm
can
talking
you-
about, don't fucking interrupt me, is Connor and Tallies, who are people who are
Don't you? This reminds me of the Star Wars sketch, okay? Oh, look, you see? These are the midichlorians. What are midichlorians? Well, you see, Luke, don't you fucking interrupt me. This just reminds me of that. Which means that I'm not treating this whole thing very seriously, am I?
don't like the right, they think it's despicable, maybe not Hallie, let's just say Connor, who are informed, are looking at the left's behavior and also find it deplorable. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, can't we just tweak that? We are already good at policy.
you abandon
We're already good at policy.
because of that. He's
Why?
one
You
man.
abandon
I
those
don't
people
think he is, so.
because they're not worth appealing to. You're better off energizing your own side. If somebody can sit in an area where they look at one guy, they see him rape 500 people, and then they look over there like, well, that guy, like, he made some rude comments about, some woman's bra or whatever. So I think these two things, like, I'm really undecided. You never even waste time with that person. You just try to appeal to, you energize your own side, or maybe you find people who are genuinely, legitimately in the middle. But if there are people, like I said, I'm feeling the Pally stuff, but if this is somebody who's legitimately like undecided about both sides, this person's fucking retarded. You don't waste your time on that person. Why would you think
I'm telling you, the average moderate is fucking retarded. I'm telling you that the average moderate is.
Whoa,
And
why are you
most
saying
voters.
clip it and just the Democrats will never win because you just said that we're done. Why'd you say it?
Actually, I disagree. I believe that democracy works with retards.
Again. Everybody's stupid except for me. I'm the smart one. I'm the political pundit, okay? Democracy is for the stupid. Everybody's stupid. The population is stupid, but not me. I'm smart. I'm the brilliant speaker. I should be in charge. Amazing. Thank you, not so erudite, for joining the chorus of I'm the brilliant, smart one, and everybody else is an idiot. This is really what we need. A bunch of arrogant people calling everybody an idiot. Absolutely not, Maxwell, a conservative, paid off, progressive shadow, Oregon Wick, truly the pinnacle.
I actually think that it does. I think it's baked into the system to assume that people
No,
are
I agree
fucking
too.
stupid.
No,
Okay,
I also agree.
great.
But you're saying on one side.
But you know what? You're not stupid, erudite. You've got the system beat.
Sometimes that's like poison to the thing, and it's like, wait, hold on. You're quoting people at events that say they like him, they're Republican, they're conservatives, and they still show up despite not liking the thing that he said. Clearly,
Yeah,
it's
because
not
they think
the
he's fucking
delineated
entertaining.
you
Not
guys
because
agree
they
with
would ever
me,
side with
if
him
you
in
guys
any
agree with
political
me-
agreement ever.
If you guys agree with me, then why? Well, he's walking away now. Why is Steven right now saying, don't reach the retards, abandon them?
People are just stupid. Present company excluded. Ah, God, this is so stupid. Not us, the top intellectuals. Who is that? Who is what? That's your erudite?
It sounds like you guys disagree with each other as well. I'm saying we have to reach the retards. Yes, the extremists will
Oh,
never reach.
God.
I'm not talking about like the embedded muggers who will
wait.
never move. I'm not talking about those people.
By the way, I
That's
think
my
Steven just
argument,
got tired.
No, so clearly, Kyle, I'm not saying don't reach out to people who are retarded because I do think most people are stupid, and we do need to appeal to stupid people.
There
But I'm
you
saying-
go. Most people are stupid, except for me. I'm not stupid. I'm smart. I'm very smart. I cannot stand this attitude, and I will point it out every single way. If you think that everybody is stupid except for you, then you know what? Maybe you should do some self-reflection. just a little bit. There might be some introspection that you have to do. If you really, really believe that most people are stupid, but not me, I'm the intellectual in the room. I'm the smart one.
Saying is, we are not going to waste energy policing our own side, saying, hey, there's some unambiguous, like, we can't really tell you how many people this
How
is.
am I
but some
even
of them
policing our own side? I'm not trying to cancel. I'm not saying that you guys are bad, that nobody should support you. I'm
don't do it.
saying,
Is that not policing?
I'm saying you would be more effective if we actually held to the standards that we say we care about. The right is fucked in large part because they've forgotten to have principles. They don't have them. They don't even begin to espouse them anymore. You're getting fucked by the one principle that they held, which is around the Epstein files. It's fucking them over when you hold standards for yourself and then you fail the standards. The people notice. The problem the Democrats had is multifaceted. Number one, we pretended to have moral standards that we never gave a fuck about. Like how we're going to the progressives. And number two is that the standards that we do have, which are good democratic standards, we are not always upholding to. We need to be more clear about when we're upholding to them. There are some people that we need those scorched earth over, but I am telling you, Tectones and Asmongold don't need scorched earth, and neither do tallies. Those are not the people. The Matt Walshes, go fucking off.
Winning
Don't
some
care.
people over by being uptight like we were for 20 years. Like,
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't see this
Yeah,
happening.
there's literally
no,
people
I
in
think
my
it's
comment
so
section who stay. I would like to interject. Thank you. So there are people.
No,
who
the guy that's not Connor or Destiny. Soipel, I think.
in my comment section and they say, oh, I really liked Steven until X. And you know what X normally is? It's either the past fucking week with the dead girls or it's Corey Compatore.
Yep,
It's a fucking firefighter. What's that?
Are they saying they're going to vote Trump now?
You guys kind of got guided that bullet, okay? So I'm just laughing at it.
Well, and by the way,
No, it's just
actually, hold on, this
because
brings up a
Steven
previous
is
point.
on the
So
left.
you were saying that like, oh, it's just jokes, it's just jokes. And actually, that Soipel's probably brought it up more than anybody else, saying like, oh, you're trying to police our jokes, you're trying to police our jokes. Excuse me, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is the malice that most people are identifying, is the fact that you and I both genuinely believe that MAGA is a quasi-fascist movement that doesn't care about the rule of law, the Republic of the United States, or its people, correct?
Yes.
And that's why you don't care that Corey Compatore or whatever his name is wittingly or unwittingly, he's effectively supporting fascism.
Who's this person? I don't know this person.
It's the firefighter who got shot at Trump's
at
rally.
the Trump rally in Butler.
I care that a person died. I care that right now when Medicaid gets shut down, the red states are going to be hurting the most. It's a little bit like, well, you voted for this, but like I care that people are
Steven,
dying.
do you
honestly.
care that
But
Corey Compatore
I
died?
think you can joke about it.
Corey, do you care, or Steven, do you care that Corey died?
I mean, it's bad when people die, but I'm not
think it's funny?
Spill any milk over it. I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you can make a joke about it and it can be absolutely fine, 100%.
So why can't we make a joke
What's
about
the point of making a joke
Hold on,
about
stop,
it? What
stop,
is
stop,
even
stop,
the point?
Why can't we make a joke about the October 7th stuff then? That's funny.
What's that? Make a joke about what?
The October 7th stuff, right? When Hamas came in, got all those Jews. It's funny, right?
Yeah, you can. I just expect people to be fucking pissed off.
Why would you do that? Why? What's the purpose? There should be a purpose to making jokes. What if I think most people are dumb, especially me? Well, that's better. That is a better position to hold, unironically. And consensually releasing the nudes of your brothers is just jokes, everyone. True. That is really funny. Especially when you're the one whose nudes are being released. That's hilarious. I wish that happened to me sometime. Maybe if I'm a good wife to Destiny, it will happen to me one day.
About it and stop supporting you politically.
What was the God? Do you think someone here's going to say we can't joke about Jews?
Well, no.
No.
Wait, hold on, Soy. Do you think we can make jokes about October 7th? Are you okay with that?
I would never make a joke about a Jewish person. That's not my thing.
I make a Holocaust and October 7th jokes all the time.
No, yeah, no,
Yeah, of course, obviously.
Hold on, do you think that the people making jokes about it on October 7th drew people to their side or pushed them away?
Yeah,
The saddest thing is that the people in this panel unironically seem to think that politics revolve around humor. Like, I don't know if to say that it's the most American thing that I've ever heard or whatever thing that I've ever heard, but politics don't revolve around humor, okay? Like politics are not a comedy club. The big political questions are not which joke is too much, okay? Because they're not the big political questions that we should be focusing on, I feel.
No. Is there an undercurrent of malice? This is relevant. Is there an undercurrent of malice within the joke?
Yeah, it was the policy. It's not the fact that people like Hassan or whoever the fuck are making jokes about October 7th. It's like they actually legitimately 100% support Hamas. That's a big difference.
No shit. That's why people are pissed off, because they actually think that you don't give a fuck when conservatives die because they're the victims of their own policy.
Bullshit.
Yes.
God.
That's literally
Destiny
the point.
Really,
what the fuck are you
Destiny
talking about?
really thought that God smited those girls for masturbating with NordVPN? Seriously?
No, they think you just don't care
No,
about
they think that you don't. They think
You're missing my point.
that you
They
feel
think
that
there's an
Republicans are
underlying
stuck
malice that you legitimately do not give a fuck about these kids. And I'm pretty sure I heard that you don't give a fuck about these kids. I'm pretty sure you said you don't give a fuck.
I'm just tired of the Martin Bailey. I'm just so tired of this Martin Bailey.
No Martin Bailey. No one
Yes,
here
there
said
is.
you
You're doing it over and over again. I am saying being mean loses the middle, and then you guys go, so you just want us to be nice and not mean jokes.
Okay, wait.
No,
No,
but the way you're being mean
stop.
in these specific instances is alienating people to your effect, like detriment of everything.
Yes, all this makes a very bold assumption that streamers actually have a tangible effect on the voter base countrywide, which is laughable to me, but whatever.
Republicans are mean and they won.
I am
We don't even know if
completely-
being mean is what made them win, Stephen. What's more likely, Stephen? Do you think that Trump won because he was divisive and mean?
Yes,
Or do you
yes,
think he won
yes,
because
yes.
he had
I
8
would have voted one way or the other, but then I saw a Destiny tweet and I completely changed my mind.
years of campaigning, funding behind him, and Kamala had 3 fucking
What was
months?
the campaigning that he was doing? It was
Being in
mean
the eye
and
of the
being
public.
divisive. And how
Being
is he
in the eye of the
By
public.
being mean and being divisive. That's literally
I don't think that a lot of people were like,
Belongs
yes,
to
this
Trump.
is why I love him. The issue with that Kamala
They
was
literally don't say that. We say it.
every single
Right.
incumbent lost. Did every incumbent just lose because their alternative was just mean?
Kyle, have you been to like these Trump
True.
rallies? Where, like, God, I love how mean he is to Democrats. All these
These
shirts are like,
rallies are
yeah,
very
fuck Trump.
funny
Of course,
place.
and I've been to
They
Democrat rallies where they
love it.
also love how mean Dean Withers is
I
for
love how
Republicans. Yes,
he's
partisan
funny,
hacks.
Israel
Love when
is-
you're mean to the opposing side. This is
That's
obviously
best humor.
I'm not talking about partisan hacks. You stupid
am.
Matt Bailey
I
fuck.
would rather.
I am talking about the middle. I'm talking about the middle.
If you want to spend your time trying to convince those people who are undecided somehow still, then you can do that. It's just not a very efficient use of time. If you want to talk
Let's
about
not.
the
Who
that's
won
fine.
in
It's not
2020?
effective.
Who won in 2020? I can't remember. Who was it?
Biden did?
Wasn't Trump mean like the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, so why didn't he win?
Because COVID literally destroyed his entire fucking.
Right.
effective-
So do you guys? Well, Soypil, you actually implied that the reason that he won this year in 2024.
No, I'm saying
Trump
being
is because
mean
he was
doesn't
mean,
lose you
and the
the
moderate
election.
didn't care so
No,
much.
I'm saying-
We
no,
don't-
that is not the
you
reason
have no
he
evidence
won.
for that
It's not the
claim.
reason he
You have
won.
no evidence for that claim.
What do you mean he won?
He won it.
My point is this is not a thing that's driving away so many people that it loses you elections. That's what I'm
You
saying.
have
Not
no
that it is
idea.
the reason people win.
Yes, all elections revolve around being or not being mean. Congratulations. There are no other factors involved. It's all about jokes and being mean or not being mean. You're very smart. That is a very high level discourse. Jesus Christ. Have you tried sitting down and having chicken and waffles with Nazis? I should do that sometime.
You have no idea
Could
if that's
be
even true.
fun.
You literally said that
He's
Trump
mean
won
and he
because
won.
he was
That is my
being mean.
argument.
He was divisive
He's mean
and
and he
getting
won.
drunk.
My argument
He
is that it
just
did not
said
make him lose.
Stephen just said it. You don't get to run away from this. You guys literally said that him being mean and divisive got eyes on him, which was free campaign money, which is what got him to win, and that the moderate didn't mind it, right?
Just to be
And in fact,
clear,
they enjoyed
there's
them being
multiple
mean to the
things
woke.
happening, and it is a
So who-
very popular thing among his base. It does not mean it is the reason he won, and I'm not saying that. I don't think Stephen's saying it either.
Like, here's a really
So
simple
stop.
question. Let's say that Trump
Here's
became
what
more
I'm asking.
wait, if Trump
Don't
became more
mock
inclusive with
Bailey.
his rhetoric.
That's
If
not
Trump
a
became more
mock Bailey.
wait,
Hold
wait,
on,
wait,
hold on,
wait,
Bailey.
wait,
Hold on,
wait,
hold on.
Let Destiny go. Let
If
Destiny
Trump
go.
became more inclusive with his rhetoric, would he do better or worse?
I think hard to say. I think potentially better, probably better actually. I think the moderates would hate him a lot less. Doesn't he have like one of the
He'd
lowest
win by
ratings
more.
of like?
He'd win by more if he did that. If he wasn't
Yeah,
such a
people don't like
fucking
him.
He has low
divisive
ratings among
bitch,
Republicans.
he would win by more.
massively high rating. He has a
Yeah,
massively high rating.
among partisan
Yeah,
hacks.
because
But I'm
he's
interested.
hardcore
Again,
fucking right
I'm
winger.
interested in the moderates in like the 30%, right? So yeah, of course Republicans like him because he's getting sick dunks on the left, and I think that that's shit. I think he would have way more popularity if he was less divisive and nasty.
And not just that, there's clear evidence for this.
Republican in the primary
no,
debate.
I was talking, thank you, appreciate you, love you, listen to you for 10 minutes. So we have all the fucking right-wing centrists or whatever, which, by the way, Stephen, you said no centrists exist. It was me that you were describing that doesn't exist. But we have Konstantin Kisin. We got his fucking schlubby glasses fucking person. We have Lex Friedman. We have Joe Rogan. We have all these people
Richard
who
Hanania.
were left 5 years ago, including Andrew Schultz and everybody on his fucking podcast. And what did they do? They used Trump as a fucking Rorschach test. They read in what they wanted to see because the left fucking pissed them off while not paying attention to what Trump said at all. And then they voted fucking right in the last election. So
Why did the
pretending
left
that
piss them
people
off
are
and not the
unwinnable
right?
or that
Why
it
did you
doesn't
guys
matter.
answer the question? You see, yes, I understand you.
Bullshit.
Why did the left
Bullshit.
piss them off and not the right?
What?
Why did the left piss them off, but the right didn't? When the right is so aggressive on
Because
all
they're
these
white
issues.
men who
Because
want to
it's
tell
vi-
edgy jokes
it's vibes.
about
It's all
minorities,
vibes.
but
They
not
hate
about dead
all
kids.
left
They
PC
want to
vibes.
tell
White men who want to tell edgy
That's
jokes
my
about
point.
minorities, not
Well, it's
dead
almost like
kids.
nobody's
Yes.
arguing about edgy jokes. So I feel congrats.
First of all,
You've
Connor
arrived
for
for an hour in, but you
and he
finally
just
done.
agreed with
Oh,
us. That
God.
clearly,
I've
this
accepted Soypil's argument. I'm trying to police his jokes.
And
Okay,
Connor
counterpoint is in
just
charge
admitted-
while I
hold on,
have to use
wait,
restroom.
hold
So
on.
just
Yeah,
counterpoint.
Connor just admitted that these people who have these million like fucking people audiences who Kamala did not go on, and that is a big criticism of what she should have done, are people that want to be edgy, that want to be authentic, that don't want to be policed, and these people are now like young.
Yes, it's all about the jokes. Nothing else matters. Stupid.
Voters are swinging towards Trump. So somehow, how this is not a way that we should go. We should not be more like these podcast hosts who are like.
It absolutely wasn't about the fear mongering about the immigrants. No, it wasn't. It was about the edgy jokes and being abrasive and mean. Yeah, you're totally not out of touch with reality when you say that. You totally don't sound stupid when you say that. It's totally not about the very popular worldwide populist rhetoric, the fear mongering that is very easy to weaponize and utilize in elections. No, it's about jokes and being edgy. What a joke. Yes, Trump totally rode the wave of being edgy and abrasive and not fear-mongering about trans people, immigrants, and all those other things. It's totally, completely, you're right.
Appealing to the everyman, the more authentic people. We shouldn't do that.
No,
Are you asking me
unironically,
or
what I'm
Connor?
saying is this
That's Connor,
specific
that's what you
joke,
said.
kind of like Kyla said, was more offensive than it was funny. So it was a bad joke. And by the way, actually, Steven made content about this, where he's like, isn't Tectone the edgy guy? Isn't Asmongold the edgy guy? Don't they love shitting on Mexicans getting deported? Don't they love all this shit? Yeah, they do. They're fucking hypocrites. But just because they're hypocrites and they're stupid doesn't mean that you don't have to appeal to them.
But it does, because I can look at how do they grow their
I'm
audiences.
sorry, but if Trump only had his abrasiveness, he'd just be a clown and nothing else. If he didn't have populist topics to fall back on. That is the reality of the situation. Trump won because everyone just really wants to say slurs and the N-word. Yeah, and joke. True. That is true. This is the reality, isn't it? Trump won because of wokeness.
Who's the most popular political streamer in the world right now? It's Asmongold. Where are all of these
people
like,
do you think you gained by asking or making fun of like dead kids? How many people do you think you gained when you asked if a fucking father of a 12-year-old if his daughter had sex? How many people followed you off of that
How many
tweet?
people did Asmongold gain asking about fucking dressing up as a Pokemon trainer to go to fucking catch illegal immigrants or laughing about fucking alligator Alcatraz?
Or like, people hate Mexicans. Most people don't hate kids.
Okay, so then the issue has nothing to do with, I guess, edgy jokes, whatever, just targeting it better, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that would be my argument, is that edgy jokes are totally fine. In the case of these edgy jokes, your timing made them more offensive than they were funny. So
Wait, then your issue is edgy jokes. You can't say, I would
My
prefer
issue
an
is
edgy
not
joke at a
edgy
later
joke.
point in time. That makes it
My
not an
issue
edgy
is-
joke anymore. That's the whole
No,
point.
no,
Yes.
no, I think making
Yeah,
fun of
timing
is
is
always an edgy joke.
Okay, so then the timing you just said was completely irrelevant. You just don't ever want people to make fun of dead kids.
I also, no, I literally didn't say that. Do you want me to restate it?
You just
Yeah, I
said
did say
it was too close to the event, essentially. That's kind of what
So
you're going for.
it made it probably more offensive to people. In the case of this edgy joke that he made, because it was so close to the event and it was quote tweeting people actively looking for kids, people found it more offensive than they found it funny. Which is why it didn't hit
Okay,
hard.
I'll
I
go
don't
ahead and
personally
stand
care
on
either way.
business and say that you
I do
shouldn't-
think it's ineffective in this case.
I'll go,
I don't give a
I'll go
fuck
ahead and
what
stand
the
on
edgy
business that as a 40-year-old man, you shouldn't talk about 12-year-olds jerking off. That's my perspective.
Wow.
As a 36-year-old man,
Destiny-
you probably shouldn't
Destiny-
talk about
Destiny-
patients
like-
eating fucking dogs.
Oh.
You shouldn't talk about deporting people. You shouldn't lie about people getting killed or denying female
Are you,
wildfires, whatever.
Steven, what are you interested in? Growing the biggest audience or being a politically effective pundit? Which one matters to you more?
Yup.
Audience.
Why is it mutually exclusive?
Audience. That is what you're gonna say. This is the moment. This is the bit that I've been waiting for, okay? This is the moment. I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna listen to it again.
What are you interested in? Growing the biggest...
Eating fucking dogs. You shouldn't talk about deporting people. You shouldn't lie about people getting killed or denying female
Are you,
wildfires, whatever.
Steven, what are you interested in? Growing the biggest audience or being a politically effective pundit? Which one matters to you more?
Yup.
It's a combination of
Why
the
is it
two.
mutually exclusive?
Sure, but which one would you prioritize more?
I don't
Audience.
know right at this point in time right now. But I mean, hold on. Are the most politically effective pundits the people that are like,
Audience.
doing the inclusive to all people, or the people that are engaging in like the most derisive and the most like condescending rhetoric?
I don't think that Asmongold is engaging in the most derisive and condescending rhetoric. No, I think like the strongest that we have, he's just not. He's being nasty, but it's somewhere in between, right? Asmongold, for example, has some level of like being reasonable, being like, man, it's really
I'm
shitty
sorry,
when conservatives do
did
this
he not
stuff.
dress up like a Pokemon trainer to catch illegal immigrants? Is that not derisive?
Yeah,
And
he
then he made the Muslim
Muslim
jokes, and then he walked back the Muslim jokes because he pissed or not
Yes,
the Muslim joke.
he does bad
did the
things.
spicy fucking Muslim statement, and then he walked it back immediately because he knew he pissed off a bunch of people because
He didn't walk it back. He walked it back. He got banned for a week. That's a different.
Yeah,
Oh.
because he cares about the audience.
Bullshit. Some people actually have feelings, Steven. He can actually feel some level of
You
contrition.
think Asmongold feels bad about offending Palestinians?
Maybe.
No,
He's got
no,
like
I don't. I
60
think Asmongold. Here, I'll be super straight. I think
Asmongold
Asmongold
wants to
cares
come
about
on,
growing
we
his
can
audience.
ask him.
I think the most important thing to Asmongold is growing his audience fundamentally. However, some things I've noticed him say over and
true.
over and over again, for example, is he constantly tells his audience to not be racist. Now, I would put to him and say, it's a little hypocritical to go dress up like a Pokemon trainer and chase around illegal immigrants while also saying don't be racist. Feels like this is going to lead to the same thing. I'd be right with you on the hypocrisy of Asmongold. However, he's also doing things like when people were covering like the super fat chick that was talking about men's issues, he like told his audience like I think 5 or 6 times to stop mocking her weight and that this isn't anything about her like beauty or looks and that they should only talk about ideas, right? So I'm not saying that Asmongold is this perfect arbiter of what we should be like. What I'm saying is he's a pretty good example of retarded middle. He's a pretty good example of it. Somebody who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just kind of like jumping on waves that will make him popular. And the question to me is, will Asmongold ever talk to you now that you've gone scorched earth with him?
Asmongold wouldn't talk to me before I went scorched earth with him. So
What about Tectone?
I have no idea. Probably not as well. Didn't we literally try to schedule something with him and he bailed?
No, he first of all, he bails all the time because ADHD. is
Okay,
fucked.
so that means there's no. So really
No,
doesn't matter.
no, he has been absolutely willing to come
Why
on
would you want to speak to Asmongold as if he was some serious political commentator?
your show up until the point, unironically, he canceled the show on me, thanks by the way, because of the shit that you said about him. He's been
Yeah,
willing
hold
to
on.
engage with
Excuse
you
me.
the
Just to be
entire
clear,
time.
he was willing to come on the show and kept either missing flights or saying he didn't want to travel to Florida or just didn't do it. So no, I don't buy that for a second.
Okay, that's really handy. It's really handy for you.
Well, what, was he planning on coming on supposedly like months and months earlier, but never managed to make his way down or had to
Yes, he
cancel?
was planning to come on for a long time, and he is a flake, but that doesn't mean that he's not willing to talk to you. And I have a feeling that if I messaged him and we had some level of rapport and asked if he'd be willing to talk to you, pre all this, like, you mocking him for his dad shit, he probably would have said yes.
I'm actually going to back up
the
there.
fact that
He talked to fucking
excuse me,
Chud Logic. He
The
talked
fact
to
that he,
Chud
that's
Logic.
great that he talked to Chud
He
Logic.
talked to
but
Chud Logic.
If I have to play nice with somebody, so weaponize their dad's veteran
I'm not asking
military
you to
service,
be nice.
you are. You keep trying
No,
to say
I'm
it.
not.
I'm gonna have to
I'm
play nice
saying
and say
be
don't say
nice.
certain jokes.
No, stop. I'm asking you to be nice in the right ways and mean in the right ways. I think when you are mean to certain people is absolutely effective. When you humiliate people who have extreme beliefs that nobody would get on board for. For example, when that like Endure guy got mocked by Melina, that was super
Be
effective.
nice in the right ways and be mean in the right. This is so stupid. Again, this is such a childish way to view politics that I don't even know. Maybe the US is just, I don't know. The US needs a rude awakening, needs a really horrible dictator to take reins, and maybe then we will see some sort of a shake-up, because
We were super mean to him, and it destroyed his career because nobody thinks you should endure abuse. It's a fucking insane thing to say, right?
Why
When
isn't
you
the
go
standard the
after
same
Matt
on the
Walsh,
Republican side? Why isn't the standard the same on the Republican side?
because they're awful people, and to be
So do you
clear,
think it's ineffective? Wait, do you think it's ineffective?
They're
Do you think
unironically doing evil shit.
do you think that it's hurting their political effectiveness when they're mean to everybody?
yes,
Yes.
oh no, they get away with it. Why can't we? Again, this is child logic.
Now
Yes,
they're getting
whatever.
wasted by their own
The issue
petard.
is,
They are
not
being
even
wasted by their own
That's just
petard.
okay, so you can say this, but just to follow. So a great example of this is the obsession with Leah Thomas. They obsessed over this swimmer girl forever, who I don't remember her. Maybe she was a huge
Oh no, this crap worked for them once. This must mean that we should be the same. Planning the revolution because he wants to trigger Russian Tsar. At the same time, Hitler just wanted to experiment with the comedy. He was just wondering about how funny German comedy could be. True.
piece of shit. Maybe she was making fun of dead kids and I just missed it. They made fun of her so
you.
fucking hard that not only did they get fucking all this trans shit rolled back in all these places, so they actually have like new laws passed because of it, they managed to get her fucking awards revoked at her school.
Yes,
And they
because
put all their
going
lectures
after
being all things.
vulnerability.
So like, where's
Yes.
the ineffectiveness of their messaging here? It seems like it
Because
worked really fucking
all of these
well.
groups, all of these groups that you were talking about, for example, Leah Thomas, people are worried genuinely, and I think you
You
are.
know, we should all just be like Hitler. He was so effective, you know? Hitler was a pretty effective guy. Why can't we be more like him? Just really? This is really stupid. This is... Okay, it's not just all about effectiveness, okay? It's not just about effectiveness. If you're all just about effectiveness, you just become a... I don't know. A far-right lunatic. Irida finally snapped because Epstein still hadn't banged her.
genuinely weird about this. It's destroying fair play in sports. Leah Thomas is absolutely a person that we're under question about whether or not fair play is
You're
happening
just
in
switching to
sports.
policy. I don't know why you're talking about policy right now. I'm talking about rhetoric.
Sure, sure. Can I
In
tell
the
you
face of
Rhetoric.
all this
Rhetoric.
rhetoric, you can't shame 50%
just put
of
my
the
hand up.
population, not because it's bad to, but because it's ineffective. Now, to be clear, the reason that they're effective in shaming these groups is because they're
Oh,
smaller
yeah, yeah,
populations. Does that make
Oh,
it evil?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, I disagree with them shaming trans people, which is why I fight with them about it all the time. However, the reason why they can do it and get away with it and not necessarily lose everyone is because they're not shaming 50% of the population. If you shame 51% of the population who voted for Trump, unfortunately, even if you are right to, and I think you are, I don't think it's wrong. I
Look,
feel
Trump
embarrassed
said
by
that
this. Stop
Democrats are
interrupting me.
pests that need to be excised and won the
Stop
election. What are you
interrupting me.
talking
Stop.
about?
I'm not done.
Okay, we'll keep saying something wrong.
God, you're so fucking impossible to talk to sometimes.
I'm mad,
I'm done.
sorry.
Brilliant.
Okay, cool. So Trump said that Democrats or the Republicans are saying that Democrats are pests that need to be excised from the fucking like
Fucking in my
country,
hand, right?
and they won. Like this clearly is not like, oh well, it's because of the small group that it worked. No, it works when they demonize democrats. It works when they demonize every minority. It works when they
You're doing it again.
demonize
We're literally
they
doing the
demonize
same.
all these
They didn't
people,
win
and
over
it
divisive
works.
rhetoric. Actually, they did. Tee hee ooh. Which
I'm
is
saying it does
Soyko. You
not.
got a fucking
I'm saying-
pick. I would argue.
So
I
easy
would
to
argue
understand. Hold on,
that
Tyler, I know
why
you're
Trump
smart.
won.
Yes, populism works. It doesn't mean that you should become a racist populist, okay? This is stupid. God.
He
Just,
had
Tyler,
8
please
years
listen
of
to me because you're asking me a
advertising.
question.
8 years of advertising, and Kamala had 3 fucking months, and our incumbent fell into dementia.
I'm
Unfortunately,
not disagreeing with
that's
you.
why
And if you
we
listened to me earlier too, you know I said this is not the reason, but Stephen and I's point is that this clearly is not such a poison thing that it's alienating everyone. If you can talk about more than half the country about like this and still win.
Okay.
Hey,
Counterpoint.
on
So
my
what
list
I would
of
like to
issues-
say, I've waited patiently. Thank you, appreciate you, love you. Anyways, so what I would like to say is that you asked for an example where Republicans are actually suffering for their rhetoric, and what I would say to you is it
Don't say
took a
Epstein.
fucking decade. But what?
He said, don't say Epstein.
No, I will. I 100% will. Fuck you.
my
Why
God.
would I?
Because it has nothing to do with rhetoric at all. It has nothing to do with rhetoric. You're going to waste 5 minutes yapping on the most irrelevant shit in the world. Oh my God.
Shut up. I'm sick of your shit. All right. So they prime people to think that LGBTQIA are fucking groomers. They prime them to think that fucking every gay person was a pedophile. They talked about how the demon rats, do you know where I heard fucking demon rats? Demon rats are fucking pedophiles, and they're trying to groom your kids. They're trying to fuck your kids, and they're trying to make them trans and all that kind of stuff. So they did a decade of fucking propaganda about how pedophiles are the most unique evil.
Yes, you can just misinform the population and then win on that rhetoric. I guess everybody should just start throwing out misinformation left and right because it works. I guess is the logic being employed here. I guess.
On the fucking face of the
Brilliant.
planet, and then Donald Trump tries to fucking sweep the Epstein files, and it finally cracks the fucking base.
Brilliant.
Finally, there's something that they were primed in order to hate so much that even when their cult leader told them, "Hey, change your tune on a dime, 180 degrees," half the base said, "Fuck you, we're not changing." And
Right,
don't
Hunter,
tell
the
them just
reason
because
this
it's
isn't-
convenient to
this
my
is- no,
argument that you're not going to use it as an example.
No,
Bullshit.
the reason,
fucking
Connor, the
try.
reason it's a bad example is because what you just described was decades of demonizing people, being incredibly mean, and taking all these marginalized groups and just absolutely disparaging them, and it working. And then the thing that's breaking is that he's now lying and saying, actually, I never cared about that. Also, Epstein's not a big deal. Not that he stopped being
Why would you
mean,
want to volunteer? Hold on. So do you think it was evil that they vilified gay people and trans people and fucking other groups in order to be pedophiles for a fucking decade? Was that good or bad?
Obviously, that was bad. And I'm not.
Wait.
I'm making a moral judgment.
Were you one of those people that were saying the most effective ad was saying that Donald Trump's gonna be president for us and Kamala Harris gonna be president for they them? Like, well, this is all hateful rhetoric that seemed to have been pretty effective, no?
Yes.
Yeah,
The question is when is shame effective?
Do you want me to watch you guys go charging down the wrong direction for a fucking decade and then have somebody grab your underwear and give you a wedgie so hard that it goes through your fucking asshole and rips your body in half? Because if you want to do that, I'll let you do it.
If I can steal a Supreme Court justice seat, if I can have both halves of Congress, and if I can have a fucking authoritarian leftist fucking president for 8 fucking years, then fucking yeah, sure, I'll take a wedgie at the end of all of that. Okay? Eliminate just like Roe v. Wade, affirmative action.
An authoritarian leftist president? You want Stalin to be in charge of the country?
Like, what do you mean? Yeah, no shit. You think the Republicans are like, man, we sure did fuck up right now.
Thank you, Destiny. You want the equivalent of Stalin to be in charge of the United States? Brilliant. Oh God. An authoritarian lefty. That's brilliant.
Now real bad because of this whole Epstein business, man. We lost fucking everything.
No. This is 100%
That's really what we
the
need.
crux of the issue. Erudite and I care about people having souls in truth.
Stop, no, pick one.
And what you just said,
I feel the moderator. Are we going to talk about political effectiveness or what's morally right? You keep having people arguments. Pick one.
Hold on.
You win. Who gives a shit?
The argument is
Hold on, Stephen, we can easily just solve this by saying political effectiveness is tied to
exactly.
your responsibility.
That
Morality
could go either way. That could go either way.
I agree, which is why
Also, the whole pick one is really stupid. If it's really either morals or effectiveness, then just become, as I said, I just become a radical right-winger because it's effective. Who cares about morals? Pick one, okay? Just become like Trump. Start demonizing minorities, start demonizing immigrants. It's effective, right? Who cares about morals? Pick and choose.
that only had like 1 or 2 principles, because most people, by the way, when asked about the tariffs before the election, were like, well, Trump's probably lying about that, teehee, right? Which is actually a number of things that moved a bunch of Trumpers off of him when they're like, oh fuck,
Did it really move anybody though? Like I don't know.
Yes, one of my close friends who voted for Trump
the economy is
was
here.
moved. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. One of my close friends who voted for Trump was moved as a result of that and him betraying his own court. These were
In your own
things-
words, most people are stupid, and you're smart enough to have smart friends who can be moved on things like explaining politics.
Yeah, I mean, Counterpoint said that as well.
I agree that my friends will be moved by different things. However, when we're talking about shame, we have to talk about what's effective, okay? We do have to talk about what's effective. And in the case of when shame works and when it doesn't, shame works when everyone disagrees with the thing that you're shaming. So if I shame somebody for being a pedophile, everyone's happy to jump on board because we all agree pedophilia is kind of not good. There was a really interesting study that came out in Sweden that was looking on the efficacy of shaming rhetoric on human rights violations versus climate change. And what we found is that when we shame people for violating human rights, people tend to jump on board. When we shame people for things like climate change, which is way less, people are clearly not on board with that one, right? What led is people rallied harder to their climate change beliefs.
I don't know what Stephen is, but I'm definitely not advocating for the scorched earth shame literally every Trump voter, because that's all we have. Because clearly we talk about a multifaceted approach to this, and you can be mean and edgy and reach out to people, and these are both things that are not diametrically.
I agree, and I think that you do that well many of the times. I think that you do that well. For example, I wouldn't have nearly as cogent of a conversation with leftists, right? If I was talking to leftists, I would have to go like way the back up. However, what I am talking to is when you talk to Tally, for example, I think that was a really good example of you failing these principles that we have talked about that you care about. That's what I think.
My principles are when someone pisses me off, I'm going to yell at them. Sometimes I can restrain that, but when they're so stupid and also have the smugness and condescension that Tally has to go and say, hey, I know what the Democrats should do. Yeah, I'm going to call them stupid.
I think you guys.
Do you need to talk about kids masturbating in order to do that?
Hold on.
Asking you to swipe not Stephen wants to talk.
Connor, I think comedy is legal.
Can I finish like my line of argumentation yours because I don't care as much about the joke?
Sure.
Okay. So I think both of you are too quick-witted to go scorched earth with as many people as you might want to. Now, Soypel, I don't think this is as much of an issue as it is for Stephen. My issue with Soypel is honestly exclusively the Tally conversation at this point in time from what I've seen. However, what I've seen from Stephen is that he goes scorched earth with people way too quickly. And I think he's too smart and quick-witted that he doesn't need to go scorched earth first, and I think it does turn people off of him.
You're so smart, Stephen. You're the smartest boy.
Regularly going, man, I really miss when Stephen was like more good faith with conservatives. It feels like he goes off super fast. And then you'll talk to conservatives that you disagree with, like you're still respectful with Myron.
I miss when Stephen ate waffles with Fuentes. True. He was so good then.
Ains, who you
and so bad now.
I think you probably think 99% of his takes.
I don't know why you keep bringing up Myron when one, we have a respect for Black, but two, you will never ever find Myron doing a 2-hour show of like, I can't believe that Destiny made fun of these fucking children. I can't believe it. My guess is he would probably just say like, oh wow, pretty edgy, bro, and that would be it. So this is not the same type of thing at all. Like this whole like obsession over being offensive is exclusively the purview of like most of like the Republican lawmakers and the Republican mainstream media and a lot of the Republican alternative media, and it only works because liberals will do it to ourselves too. Like Republicans will be like, I can't believe you guys made fun of this thing, and liberals will be like, oh my god, they're right. That was so horrible we made fun of those things. And then when Republicans do it, liberals don't even say anything. And we're like, oh yeah. It's the 47th anniversary of kneeling on George Floyd's neck. That's such a fucking epic joke. Good job.
I'm gonna be honest, Stephen. I'll be super clear with you, Stephen.
No,
Hold on, let Kyla finish. Let Kyla finish.
If you had
sit on my dick for 8 minutes at a time.
If you had the
I'm
same
so
social
angry.
capital with Asmongold,
So
Tecton, or
much
Donut
anger.
Operator as you do with Myron, I have a feeling that you would be able to
You'd be
leverage your
friends with
social
that.
capital now. They would probably cover for your joke a lot more because they'd see you nuance. And most importantly, as MAGA is blowing up right now, if there's any time to pull people away from the right, it is right now. You could leverage that social capital to do so. But because you've gone scorched earth with retarded moderates, you won't be able to do so.
That's fine, but to be clear, there's no world where that is the case. The two people with some of the most political capital on the right were Kyle Rittenhouse and Joe Rogan, and they got blasted immediately when they tried to stray from the party, even if their vote wouldn't have mattered. They got immediately blasted, and they came back into the fold fucking immediately too. This fantastical delusion of if you play nice with them, they'll play nice with you is only true insofar as you're not as much of a threat to them and their audience that you'll actually start converting people over to the other side. They just want you there to
know
look like,
why?
oh, well, he's kind of like a nice liberal, and that's cool, and so we can like be more respectful of them when we vote to take away all of their rights at the ballot
But
box.
do you know why that the right is hardly ever moves over these days? Is because the left has made it clear, and Democrats have made it clear for the last, fucking 8 years, that they are not welcome and they will never be welcome in the Democratic Party. And they have done this over and over and over again on a personal level. So yes, you have, hold on, let me finish my fucking point. You have Republicans constantly, you have Republicans, hold on, you have moderates constantly, right, who are...
We're not gonna watch the whole thing. I don't have that much time, but this is silly, obviously.
just getting constant shit from the left, like, oh, how dare you speak up that this is a white man and things like that, right? How dare you do this, right?
Well,
and they will. I've gotten more death threats and rape threats from leftists.
Yes, those are the things that really decide elections. Sit down and don't speak, white man. God, this is so out of touch. This is so out of touch with reality. Unless this is the American reality, which would make me really depressed about the American political climate, to be quite honest with you.
He's the
that I've
moderator.
ever
I'm voting
gotten
for the
from
moderator.
Republicans, right? The leftists are going to hate this conversation way more than any rightoid would, right? The leftists are the ones that are going to cancel me or try to cancel me for having you on. It's
The
not the
leftists-
rightoids, right? It's this constant thing. We give them no off-ramp. We give them no place to go. And when people like Tali does come on and say, hey, my
you
vote
just
is
say?
winnable. That's what she said. My
What
vote
did
is
you just
winnable.
say?
And she just comes on and says, fuck you.
Wiccan
You
is
just said that you're
nuanced.
getting canceled more, yes, by the left. I agree. You should stop doing it. We should embrace all of the hilariousness and the edginess.
Yeah,
I agree,
you're
100%. Thank you. Yes.
Hold on, but Swipel, you already agreed that in the case of Tali, it was ineffective.
Yeah, we should
And
all
if you try
just
to win
become
it,
more
if you wanna
far right.
say,
That's
I'm
true.
just too
Yeah,
tired,
of course.
I'm too weak, I'm too small being
Brilliant.
to be big enough to like be good faith with somebody that just pisses me off.
It's
That hits the
effective.
threshold
Whoa,
of
I was not bad faith
intolerable.
with her. I was mean to her. Those are
You
very-
were
Okay, actually,
absolutely
no. So, hey, no, 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 no.
It's just
hold on,
become
the entire
far right.
time-
I've waited.
Okay,
You asked me to
you
wait.
were insanely bad
Thanks.
faith. I had to
Appreciate
stop
it.
watching. I was so grossed out by that conversation, if I'm being honest.
Anyways, so
Are you gonna vote
moderates. Okay,
Canadian.
who wins fucking general elections? Moderates or fucking extremists?
But your smugness
Your
makes
base.
me not like
Your
you,
base.
just to be clear.
Bullshit! It's
I
fucking
don't think
moderates.
moderates are the ones that win elections. No, it's if your base turns out in
Bullshit!
votes.
Do you think that 55% of the fucking
Bullshit.
fucking party is the reason why Trump won?
Wait, you
No,
just
like
target these
100% of
groups
people that vote
differently.
for them.
You can do both. You can do both.
You can do both. You can talk about
We're
kids jerking
quite
off
out
and
of
you can
the
be nice
left
to
side.
moderates and win the moderates.
True.
That's not what
I
I'm
don't know
talking
what do you
about.
mean? Hold on.
You
Wait,
can
let's just
galvanize your base and also appeal to moderates. This is obviously true.
Sure, and I think those are two different
I'm
things.
saying
Those are two different strategies.
Steven and
Somebody wants to do
Soyfield
that.
are alienating
Yeah,
moderates
yeah, yeah,
intentionally.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah,
get
yeah,
galvanized.
yeah, yeah,
If you're going to be alienated by comments
yeah.
like that from the left, but never anything that's a
Bada, bada,
million
bada,
times
bada.
said more by the right, then it's not worth targeting. Fuck them.
I don't want to tell you, people talking about dead
alienated
kids.
from the right
people
who are
don't like this. I
available
don't
for
want
you
to
to
tell
scoop
you.
them up,
Dead
and you're being a
kids,
piece of
blah,
shit,
blah, blah,
so they're
blah.
not gonna fucking listen to you.
I don't think you realize how precarious you have to be with these people if you're trying so fucking hard to make sure that nobody is saying the wrong joke or something to keep them there, and then if you do, the microsecond that happens, then they retreat back to the most disgusting, divisive fucking person on the fucking planet. I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
isn't it
Like,
sad? Isn't
From
it
the
sad that
TV
the social
monitor.
rapport that the left has with moderates and with everyone else is so poor that they're literally picking a piece of shit rapist over us because they find us so fucking distasteful?
Kyla, the
That's
point
my
is-
entire
the
argument. Is
entire-
that yes,
the entire-
they are
That's our
retarded
argument,
for
though.
it.
But that's our argument.
Yeah,
No,
Kyla,
I'm
this
saying
whole time
we
I've been
should
saying
figure out how to be a little bit more
Tali
likable.
is a waste
Yeah,
of
the
fucking
likable is
time.
shitting on the other side. That's why people dehumanize people. It works.
Yeah. Okay, progressives and liberals have been so fucking annoying for the past decade that the American people
Yeah,
feel
dehumanizing people works. So just become a radical right winger because it works. Brilliant.
Annoying
Thank
is
you,
different from being
Stephen.
mean
Thank
and
you.
being authentic and like
Thank
actually
you,
expressing like a
Steven.
disgust or a frustration with people, which you've been doing, Connor, and I think is very authentic. In fact, I appreciate
Thank
when
you,
yell at this
Destiny.
conversation. But if you were out there being like, well, I can't be, if I yell at Soy, then he might not like listen to what I'm saying. No, I'm saying we need to put our energy into getting as many people to understand the consequences of their vote, whether that's for the Democrats or the Republicans, and anything past that is a waste of fucking
That
time.
is
Trying to
brilliant.
tiptoe and walk on eggshells for people like Tali, who, like I believe she said in that conversation, Kyla, no, actually, after all this, I still won't vote for a Democrat.
No, that's not
Why
what
the
she
fuck
said.
should I waste
That's
my
not what
fucking
she
time?
said. You were
She said she's
missing.
not sure. She's still undecided.
No,
which is
she's
fucking retarded.
The worst part is, I bet you if you were way less heated with her, especially talking to you two ODD freaks, I can't believe I have to explain this, that when people start demanding that you say something, what's the likelihood in that conversation you're going to say it?
I think
Because
you should
I
go
know for a fact that Steven still won't admit that he's dressing nicer because I encouraged him to, or that he's got an ADHD test because I encouraged you, because he's too fucking ODD, and I have a suspicion. So
Close enough. Welcome back, Hippy Dippy. Oh gosh, no. Okay, come on. I'm gonna go there. Hippy Dippy was better, okay? Had a better moderator. There you go. I went there. Hippy Dippy had a better moderator. That defeated your arguments. Nothing you can say can beat that point. I won. I won this argument. I think.
soy pill that you're just as
What's
ODD.
ODD? I
And if
don't know.
somebody convinces you to do something, you're going to be resistant, especially in a public situation where you don't like the answer that you're going to forever not
I will
going
always
to
bite the
concede.
bullets. Can you-
Okay, so
can you
firstly,
explain
correct the
what it
record. Okay, the ADHD thing came from my lovely 3-time accuser, Cherry. So thank you. She was the one that threw me on Adderall. Number one. Number
That's
two. Okay.
crazy.
Number two.
Crazy.
Number two.
I helped
the issue.
book
The
you
issue.
neuropsych
The
test,
issue.
motherfucker.
The issue. I don't even think I took a neuropsych test. I just did I got a prescription via telehealth because fuck those. It's not worth it.
Second of all, explain what
the
ODD
issue.
is.
The issue is ODD is the name that we give dogs when we kick them violently.
No,
children
that's
dogs.
not. That's not.
The issue is that if somebody can be persuaded by the other side acting at
Really?
this like -10 mark, and in order to persuade them to the other side, like you have to act at this like +8, and if you drop 1 point, they're gonna leave. This is not a person worth holding on to. I just think
But
there's
I am
something else
telling
lining
you,
there.
no, I am telling you that right now the Democrats' policy is so good and nobody understands it because they hate everything about the veneer of what the Democrats are so much.
What's
sorry,
the
what
overall-
veneer?
Wait, Kyla, what is about the Democrats now is similar to what Steven's doing at all?
Nothing. I'm not talking about. I'm not even that interested in Steven's edgy joke other than saying. It's
No,
probably
just in
not
terms of like being
effective.
mean, like
Yeah,
Kamala
like this
and everybody else.
meanness or this, like,
Yeah, where was the mean?
condescension,
Like Walls? Was
Yeah,
he
for
the super mean
example,
guy?
when
Was
I-
Biden the super mean guy?
No, it's the people.
No.
It wasn't the
He was
politicians.
big.
This is what you
He
don't
went high.
understand. People are influenced more by the people who personally attack them than they are by what any politician says. So when you have
Okay, but then
people
at
in
that
their
point,
family,
we
in their
lose.
friend
It's
group,
over.
or
It's
former
over.
friend
Hold on.
group,
You have to understand then
Wait,
that on
wait,
our
wait,
side,
wait,
we just
wait,
point to the
wait.
Republicans and go, look at what the president says. Look at what the vice president says. Look what the speaker of the house says. And on your side, you're like, okay, well, look at this. Twitter user 487,000 just said this, so fuck your
It's
whole
not
site.
just
Fuck them.
Twitter,
I'm gonna go
people
vote
in their
for
real
Republicans.
fucking
You're
lives.
not
saying-
Twitter user 487. You're not.
No, but I'm
It's-
saying that like if on the left you can say like if we can say on the right, look, they're lying
Okay.
about Haitians eating cats and dogs, and they literally fucking admit it. You go, well, what about that one Chiron where CNN said fiery but mostly peaceful protests? Gotcha. And it's like, oh well, if that's the standard, like you're
That's not the
No,
standard.
come
motherfucker.
on.
It's
Come
literally
on.
$1 billion
You-
worth of damage
no,
and 25
you-
fucking
your
homicides.
career.
That's the fucking standard.
Your
That's the
career.
bad behavior. And you should
Yeah.
call out bad behavior regardless of who's doing it. That's the other thing that fucking pisses me off.
No. I'm talking to acknowledge that
Don't
he's
act so fucking
obviously
obvious, you bitch. No, fuck that. You fucking literally said in this debate.
Oh my god. This is also self-important. Bad behavior. Jesus. Okay, we're gonna watch like 10 more minutes and then I'm gonna bail. Okay? Okay, I'm gonna bail. Is it okay if I bail on you? On you, everybody? Also, if you like what I do, okay, this is my time to do a little bit of you know what? You know what I do best. E-beg. E-begging is what I do best. So if you like what I do, if you like my shenanigans, if you like my politics, if you like it when I'm snarky, which is when nobody watches, which is for the best, then consider joining my page, my special place called lucyhaze.org/live, which I would love to link, but somehow, for some reason, Jesus Christ. Okay, there you go. Now I can do it. And consider donating or subscribing because I think I'm on a roll tonight. If you want to see an edgy side of me, then here you go. This is the edgiest Lucy ever. So edgy and mean. You haven't seen this part of me, have you? Have you ever?
Oh, this is the crux of the entire issue. Is I pushed you enough that you finally said all bad behavior is on the table because the right wing is doing bad behavior. As long as we win, I don't give a fuck.
That's
That's what you said.
It's not all behavior. There's worse stuff in life than making a mean joke at somebody.
No shit, nobody said that. Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
No,
Then why,
Nobody
wait,
invented the
where
position.
did I even imply that all bad behavior is on the table?
So I'm muting myself because I'm putting on Miss Rachel. So, anyways,
Wait, where did I say that all bad? Where did I even imply that all bad behavior is on the table?
I'm answering your question. You asked me a question 10 to fucking 15 minutes ago. You literally said, like, as long as it gets me a fucking hardcore left-wing fucking whatever, you were actually excusing a shitload of bad behavior. You might not have used the word.
Bad behavior or edgy jokes? When am I excusing bad behavior?
Yeah, we both said
literally
no
the one that-
misinformation.
I'm not even
If you don't
arguing
want to
with
steal
you.
the election,
I
I mean, bad behavior is dehumanization, and you said dehumanization works, so that's, I would just point to that, okay? You didn't say edgy jokes are fine, you said dehumanization is fine because it works. So I say, let's take it to its logical conclusion and just go for it. Let's just become right-wingers.
Here.
Rewind the tape.
Rewind
Bad
the tape.
behavior is going scorched earth on people who don't deserve it. It's making fun of Tectone's dad because he doesn't like your edgy joke. It's, for example,
Tectone brought his dad out to fight somebody to wield him as a fucking veteran or whatever.
so
So his dad is fair game. Unfortunately, that's not how it works.
saying that he's just sad because the girls died and he has less victims now makes it fair game because once Tectone's dad was public as well.
I'm saying that if you're going to weaponize your dad to win internet arguments, then at that point, I mean, it kind of is, it's kind of out there. Yeah, no shit. That's
pretty
why
sure
when he
that
came back to me and he tried to make fun of me and my son or whatever, I was like, oh, it's fair game. You know, I
was
was fighting for my kid. It's not
No,
fucked
that
at
was
all. What do you mean? That was the
yes,
level that we were
yes.
at. It's not. That's where we were.
It is just because you guys like mullets game your way down to hell. Just because you mullets game your way down to hell.
Hajdusiu, co? To jest łobuzie. Fajdo. Fajdo. Fido's trying to make me stop. Fido's like, I think you've had enough. He's like, I think you had enough with panel. Just a little bit more, okay? Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more of the wit panel. Fido's already annoyed with me. Fido says, I've had enough. I have had enough, and you must stop. I think that's what he's trying to say. Fido's like, Wick is not good for you. I think. Wick is not a good influence in your politics. Fido can't take it anymore too. True. And you all know that Fido is not, Fido is not shy to make an edgy joke or two. All right, I'm gonna do a few more minutes of this. Remember, if you like what I do, also I'm gathering money to do more work in Ukraine. So if you like what I do in Ukraine, then also consider. Okay, I'm doing things about children in war. I'm doing a comprehensive reporting on this. One of my articles have been accepted as well. I'm still waiting for that to develop, but I am now a journalist, okay? You are watching a streamer who is a journalist. I know everybody calls himself a journalist, but I totally am a super cool journalist, okay? I am your favorite journalist streamer. Uh-oh. What happened? That's not good.
Republicans are already in hell. They're already in hell and they're winning down there.
I agree.
They're
And so
winning.
they're not. They're literally not.
Literally are. Literally.
No, they won the election.
Literally.
Why? Why? Is it because of edgy jokes and meanness?
It certainly
Yes.
didn't hurt them.
Do you think that that's why they won?
I know that Nikki Haley and DeSantis didn't even get a debate with the meanest guy on the planet, so it seems like it didn't affect them too much being mean.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
what
That's
was it?
not an
Trump came on
answer
and
to
said
the
that all Puerto
question.
Ricans live on an island of garbage, and they actually were able to turn that into a promotional thing where Trump
My
drove around in a
entire
fucking
argument,
garbage
my
truck
entire
and then won
Saying that something didn't hurt someone does not mean that's why they won.
the elections.
That's
Like,
just
and
And
I
I
saying.
put it in Biden
Yes,
attack
left.
because when Biden said the
Republicans
only trash that I saw there were
you're
MAGA.
screaming out how bad Republicans are.
Kyla,
I don't
but
think
when Joe
Republicans are
Biden,
good.
do you think Joe Biden's
I
mean?
don't need this. I don't need
Joe
this.
Biden's
You don't need to convince me that Republicans are in
I'm not-
hell.
This is
That they're
about Joe Biden.
pieces
Do
of
you think
shit.
Joe Biden's mean? Do you think Joe Biden is mean? Does he,
No.
do you think, okay, so when he says, hey, the people who call all Puerto Ricans garbage are garbage, and they use that as
I
a promotional
cannot
thing in their
jump here.
campaign, and then are able to win off of that, what
I
would
thought it
Biden
was
That's
do?
not what they
Exactly.
won off of, you stupid motherfucker. What I am saying to you is that
Did it fucking
despite
not?
what I am saying, no, it did not. What I am
think
saying is
that
that
did
not?
despite, let me
Post that
fucking
picture.
talk.
Did
You gotta let me
not.
talk now. What I am saying is that despite how awful they are, despite the fact that their principles are in hell, people still find them a better choice than the Democrats. And I'm saying that the reason why the Democrats are so disliked, despite our principles being higher, is because of shitty behavior, particularly because we are the side that says that we're the moral good guys. The Republicans aren't doing that anymore in any way, shape, or form.
Because we say, like, yo, the Republicans all
No, I
left
think
so
that
much
I've
for
said
the
this a
tolerant
million
left.
times.
That was the reason.
I'll say this again. The reason that we likely lost is because Trump had about 8 years of campaigning and Kamala had 3 months because her incumbency had dementia, and also something weird happened globally that the right and incumbents overall just failed, probably because of inflation post-COVID.
I think
That's
both
probably
agree, but
why
that
we
is
lost.
You're right. That's such a bigger factor, and like nowhere, especially
Yeah.
when Tim Walz and the whole campaign started calling them weird, was that the thing that was like, well, moderates were like, whoa, hold on, you're calling
I
them
don't have an
weird.
issue
Like,
with
we're
being
not
mean.
gonna vote.
Soypel, again, I
do
don't
not
think
hold on, Soypel, do you not
this
think
from the
there's a
very fucking
difference?
beginning, and I'll say it again so that you can engage with my
I
arguments.
know-
Don't
no,
know
I
what's
know
so
that.
hard about my claims, but then stop saying you just want us to be nice. I've never for a second
Okay.
said be nice. I
is
think
why-
that this is
okay.
weird but super effective because it's mean in an effective way.
Oh
and what I'm
my
saying is that
God.
when you're smug and nasty to Tally, it's ineffective. And I said in the
was
case
smug
of
and nasty,
Steven's
calling them
jokes,
weird.
unfortunately, they were
Calling
ineffective.
Republicans weird, smug, and nasty, Kylo.
Not to the
No.
same extent. Hold on.
What,
Do you
you
think?
like, hey,
hold on. Do you think
these people are
calling
weird, these people are
Republicans
pretty
weird
stupid.
is
That's
the
not-
same
that's
as
not
making
right.
a joke
Every
about
word that
dead
work for
children?
your argument, you can do that.
Hello,
but the matter
Emily,
of what
yes.
we're talking about.
I
Every single
welcome to
person
hell.
can understand that if somebody says that's really weird, that it's not the same thing as being super smug and saying things like, here, let me pull up the notes. I think you should be embarrassed. I am only here so I can tell you to go away. It is unconscionable that you are here and talking in any way. Do you want me to keep going about all the nasty
I
comments
actually
that
do
you
want
made?
to. I would make more nasty comments, knowing how stupid she is now. Actually, keep going.
Based.
Okay, do you think
bring
that
her
that's the
on.
same thing as calling somebody weird?
No, I would say I'm much
Oh,
more
great.
aggressive than
So
Tim
glad
Walz.
you showed
But
up in the
really,
conversation.
what level of smugness?
Congratulations.
What
Wick,
level of smugness is
desperately
condescension?
farming content.
I'm not sure
and shit.
precisely, but what I am talking about here is that there's
Generally, weird is fine.
I
Saying,
don't
hey, these
know.
people are stupid isn't.
Nah, hold
But
on.
what
You're not
is?
going to make me do this thing where I stick out a
Okay,
ruler.
I'll give you one so I
I'm not
built.
saying you have to
Talk
give the
about
exact
the
line.
jack
but
Yes,
that's
you
what
are.
I'm
You actually
advocating
are
for.
saying you're
No,
doing the
that's
you're
the
doing.
line I gave it to
You
you.
can have
You're being
more
help
ambiguous
points
and
100,000 grains of
I'm not saying
sand
that.
become not a
Here,
heap,
let
but
me-
just a
if
grain of
you stop-
sand.
if
I'm
you
not
stop
sure
commenting, I'll
precisely,
explain it to you.
but I can
I'm
look
not
at a
asking
heap of
for
sand
precise
and go,
Oh
that's
my
a heap,
God.
and I can look at a single grain of sand and
What
say,
are
well,
you
that's a single grain
advocating?
of
What are you
sand.
advocating for people like Steven and I who are edgy in ways that you don't like, clearly in some ways, and not in the other ways because you're okay with being mean?
What does BGG contribute to society? I mean, depends. I would make the argument, okay? 10-minute ban is pathetic, by the way. Listen, you told me that I would not ban you, but I did. I did ban you, okay? Also, I would say that the DGG giving money for Ukraine is pretty good. Okay, I would say that is a contribution to society. I'll grant it that, okay? I will grant that that's been a pretty positive use of the DGG.
The edginess at all.
I'm saying that if you listen, I'm agreeing with you. I understand you don't hate the meanness and the edginess, but then what is allowed? Because it's like, well, here it's allowed, here it's not, and it's like,
I want to answer your question
well,
genuinely.
that's cool, but
You
I'm
gotta
not
let me answer
asking
it,
you,
and then
Yeah,
hold on.
Hold on, I gotta be moderator for a second.
Wait,
Hold on.
without saying scorched earth.
Okay, we're gonna go Soy. Let's go to finish this
Oh
question.
my
We're gonna give
God.
Erudite a chance to answer it, and then counterpoints. I know you went in, so get you in.
I'm not trying to Loki's wager you into the exact position. You have to say this is the line, because obviously you're okay with edginess. I know you are. In fact, you were very nice. You clipped the clip of me saying retarded. That was very nice of you. But when is it okay? When is it not? Not explicitly, but what are you advocating for us to do? It's like, oh, this is like, are we going to call out people every time they cross the line, whatever that arbitrary line is? Are we going to waste a bunch of energy having these conversations every week, every time there's an edgy joke that goes too far? What are you advocating for?
What I'm talking about is two things.
Some codes did good things, though, only to get new followers. I mean, I'm not sure if giving mine to Ukraine expanded the DGG in a lot of ways, but fair enough. Do you have it on 10x speed? Are you a 11-year-old from TikTok? 1.5. I just don't have time, okay? This is not some high-level discussion. If you're too slow to hear it on 1.5, then I'm sorry. Maybe you should just, I don't know, check yourself.
I think there's some good general rules I think Connor's outlined. In general, probably avoid children. People don't like children shit. Children
They don't
are
even
super-
vote.
Parents do. Sorry. People like kids. I don't get it. Kids can be fucking
Yeah,
monsters.
we know.
but
That's why
people
they're
like
trying to
kids.
cover up the Epstein list now, right?
That's true. That's true. They like touching them too. However, in general, I would avoid standing on the graves of dead children, especially within 2 days of them dying. I think in
Yeah, it's better
general,
to swim over
you're
them like
always,
Conan Operator does.
you're
Ooh.
always going to lose that optic battle. You just always will. It's never going to be a good stand for you. However, more than that, when I'm talking about like broader, like how we should orient ourselves, I think we need to look at the people that we are talking to, and we need to understand where they are, and have a fundamental principle that doesn't say if you're a Trump voter who's too stupid to engage, I now get to go scorched earth, and anything I say and do to you is okay because you're not worth my time. I think that that is fundamentally an anti-democratic principle, and I think it's harmful to our movement to do. However, I think other people do it worse than you two. Unfortunately, you two were the two called in to do this, right? But these would be my principles. You don't have an orientation towards Republicans, that they are ontologically evil, that if somebody has voted for Trump, that they deserve to be treated poorly. And I think
I'm
that
not saying we
you
should
need
either.
your line for your scorched earth threshold is way too fucking low.
Is
It's more about punishing
undecided
stupid
voter
people
who
than it-
admits stupidity and is speaking as a pundit
Yeah,
of
it's
authority on a
stupidity.
panel. Yeah,
I get
they
it.
deserve it. They
Stupidity-
deserve all of
stupidity-
it. No,
stupidity is
I
not
talk
the
a
word.
lot of
Can't
stupid
be.
people. Stupid people that are smug and in positions of talking down to an audience of people that I am calling out. And if you want to go back and watch how smug Polly was being in that, you can, because Polly's smug too, and that's fine. But I'm going
She
to
was
call it
not
out.
that smug. She was exclusively smug after you came in swinging, which, by the way, you earned, right?
Which is fine, by the way. But I said she was smug before I even went on, which is why I wanted to come on, because it was triggering me how she was
was
speaking
not
as the voice of
smug.
authority.
I watched the whole
Yeah,
thing.
all right,
I-
well, fine. That's your opinion on it.
What
But
I'm
the
saying
point
is, my
that a smug
suspicion,
person,
my
condescendent,
suspicion,
or any
she
pundit
wasn't.
who
I'm
is
telling you,
stupid
I'm
enough-
telling you,
Polly
she
was
wasn't
perfect on
smug.
her panel.
The
She was
reason that
perfect.
you
She was
thought it
never
was
on pods.
smug is because she triggers you, and that's fine if that type of person triggers you. Maybe don't talk to them because I think you're pretty ineffective with them. Maybe because it's near and dear to your heart. But for some reason,
effective with
you
all
get
of
more mad. You've already admitted it wasn't effective, and if you are just frustrated with conservatives that you want to vent your conservative exhaustion, you can do that. But let's not pretend it's fucking effective
Conservative
for a single fucking
exhaustion.
second. And let's be very
Oh,
honest
boy.
about the psychology of behavior, which is that nobody is going to change deeply
Oh,
held
I'm a
beliefs by being shamed in that way.
psychologist.
They
I'm not
never,
sorry
ever
that I'm
will.
a psychologist.
Okay,
Let me give you
That's
my
what I'm asking.
psychological
Counterpoints
analysis.
Counterpoints was wanted to go. We're gonna give it to counterpoints, or he's gonna yell at me in his DMs. Go ahead.
Of
Oh,
course.
we can't hear what you're saying. Beautiful, wonderful. This is great.
Sorry, I'm working with children.
Fair enough. Oh, okay, so I guess he's not going right now. Okay, well,
Give me a minute.
yeah, while he's
okay.
doing that, the problem I'm having, and I'll step in here for a moment, is that it
Yeah, of
seems to
course,
be
the
rely-
moderator in the panels feels like he has to step in for a moment. There you go. This is why this is not as good as HippyDP, okay? In HippyDP, the moderator did not feel the need to step in for a moment. There you go. That is the that is the difference, okay? My morning is now ruined. Thanks, Lucy. You're welcome. I'm here to serve. I am here for you. I am your streamer.
line, Soypill, and Destiny, for that matter, is if I feel like it, right? If I feel triggered enough, then it's okay. Then I can do this. And I'm saying that it's not okay to just act on any emotion you feel when you feel it, that we should be better,
saying that
because being better...
Oh shit. Well, that is.
actually
I've never
being
considered that. I thought we should just act on any emotion we feel ever.
A lot of people behave
Thank
like
you.
that.
That's so right. Fuck. Oh my god. You're
I
right.
mean-
We shouldn't just act on any emotion ever. Thank you.
I mean that is how Destiny acts, so I don't know why he's so triggered, dare I say, by this statement.
You know what? sometimes people need to hear the obvious because while they
Bro,
say I
why are you
understand
so
this,
mean?
they're
Why are you so
behaving
mad?
like they
Well,
don't.
Wick, do not
That
get your
was very condescending.
lower the temperature.
My ODD is spiking right now, so
Your ODD.
Okay.
Your obsessive.
Just reiterating that the line for me is talking about kids jerking off. Just stop. Just don't do it. It doesn't
When
help
we say
anybody.
kids, do we mean 16, 18? What are we talking? Are we including time in the womb like they do in Korea, or?
Let's go with Germany rules. I think age of consent is like 14 or 15. So anything under 15, just don't talk about it.
Okay.
Because Germans are pedophiles.
Wait, Connor, I have a question. Someone sent me this, and I actually don't know about this, but I think you have like a past feud with one of our mutuals, and it's like you sent me a video of you saying like I'm pro eugenics or something, and it's like, is that something that is also going to turn people off? I have no idea about.
Yeah, is that
shit,
Gibbs?
but, like,
And by the way, I'll
it's
stand on business for that shit.
Also, when we say
Yeah, it's
eugenics,
fucking
by the way,
Gibbs.
that's killing kids, so that's a bad one
No,
for you, Connor. Good luck.
it's not. Literally, eugenics means good birth. So yes, I'm for CRISPR. I'm for eliminating genetic diseases. I'm for gene editing, the future of humanity. 100%. I'm for good birth.
Counterpoint is for eugenics. Thank you. That's brilliant. Thank you, Connor. Points for. Thank you, Connor. Counterpoints or whatever your name is for this take. You're pro eugenics. Okay. Ay.
That's a lot more reasonable than it sounded in the clip.
Yeah, it's not eliminating black people or Jews from the gene pool. It's gene editing diseases out of human beings.
Okay.
Totally fair.
Never mind, true.
But
Nice try, Gibbs, you fucking dumbass.
He's been spamming.
he's in my DMs too. Okay. Hey.
Okay,
here's
let's just
what-
go back to. Could I bring up one thing?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay,
Tali
so-
is,
so wait,
if
no.
you guys are okay, Tali is very upset now.
No, she's a waste of time. Don't bring her on. Absolutely not.
Right,
Bring her
right.
on.
you
I
on.
support bringing her on.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. But
Okay.
I'll
It's not a
defer
waste
to
of time.
Destiny
And just to be
being. I've already
clear,
done enough to her.
Well,
If she's a
you're not-
retard, hold on. If she's a retard, do we all agree? Well, at least Wickle.
That she is? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
we all
Okay.
agree.
So you think I think she's retarded for a vote too. Just to be super clear, I disagree with her vote, and I think her like grinding her heels in to refuse to say that she regrets it at this point in time is also fucking retarded. And I have this conversation with
Whoa.
Love.
Why are you condescending?
However-
She's not going to listen to you now?
No,
Well,
that wasn't full
not being
scorched earth. That was just a little bit mean.
So it's, okay, so we can be a little mean, but not.
You guys want to be
They're
like
all
slightly
being
definitive, you just want to
condescending
be bad faith.
non-stop from beginning
Wait,
to
the point is,
end.
I don't know
These
what you're
are
actually
obviously
advocating for
different.
because
Well,
you're
no, 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 no,
just
stop, 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 stop. You're literally using these bad
Clearly,
words.
there's no scorched earth here. She was just being a little mean. Okay, you should know the difference.
But then
Idiot.
what do you? I agree, but what do you
Shut
advocate?
First of all, shut
Shut
up.
up.
Hold on.
Shut the
Don't
fuck
be-
up for just being a
Sure.
podster. Second of all, I said from the very beginning that I don't know exactly what the ruler is, and this
Protocol that gave their followers poisoned Kool-Aid started off by funding civil rights causes. I'm just wondering if Destiny would give Kool-Aid to this.
stupid ruler argument is fucking retarded, right? I don't know where the heap of sand becomes like not a heap of sand precisely. However, here's a super
This
key
again,
difference. I
the
heard
heap of
social
sand.
capital with Tally. I'll call her retarded and still talk to her like she's a person and try to hear her side. And what I
Wow.
think is a big issue is that if you
I
think
will
another
still treat this person as a human.
person is retarded,
How-
you have now elevated your position to them. You are the non-retarded person, you are the knower, and they are the unknower. And
you're
unfortunately
condescending.
for you, that means you're not punching straight. And you have to act as though that is the case, which means that if you have deemed all these people below you, if
You
they
are
are
the knower and they are the this is so stupid. I just don't know how to engage with this level of condescension, unironically. People are just stupid and they depend on shepherds such as us to guide them through life. You just have to accept that we are the vanguard party.
are intellectually and morally inferior, then unfortunately these standards for you are going to be higher. And if you act both as though you are superior and smug about that, everyone will hate you. Everyone.
How are
will
you not
hate
being
Okay,
smug, condescending,
just
and
housekeeping
calling
here.
her retarded, saying you're smarter than her, and now talking to her and being like, "Well, Tali, this
I
is
don't
what
think
should
I'm smarter
happen."
than Tally. I don't think I'm smarter than Tally at all.
So you're also retarded, I guess.
Okay.
Well, I don't use retarded to talk about people's IQ.
This is what we're
I think
gonna
Tally
do.
is super smart.
Yeah,
I just think that her vote
okay.
is retarded.
No one listens to me on my own goddamn show, and this is getting frustrating. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna read some super chats and make a little money today because honestly, it's more important than any of you or the topic or anything else. Then, again, unless
Thanks, Wick. Thanks for this. I want to make a little bit of money. I'm so edgy. It's more important than the topic over any of you because I'm making a little bit of money. This is... Gosh. Beautiful. What a beautiful panel. Okay, we're gonna go to 50 past and then it's gonna be over because liberal Bolsheviks. I know. I've noticed. It's difficult for me not to notice a lot of Bolshevik thought being pandered here, but
Higher fucking show.
As somebody who's better than Soypel, I veto his veto because I'm his
Whoa.
caretaker.
Okay, I'm going to Trump now. What the fuck?
Okay.
Don't be condescending to me.
Let me read these super chats. I'll go through them as quick as I can. Okay, so we're gonna speed through them. $5 from Caleb to say humor is more powerful
No,
than any
whatever.
rational rhetoric. Enough of the hand wringing. Pandora's box is already open. And 20 gift
this a
memberships
boss?
from Grassroots Hegemon. Thank you for 20 gift memberships. $5 from Hunter Young to say for the soys on here. Would it be more effective for Crockett to double down on Hot Wheels or to back down like she did?
Double down.
$5 from Fancy Beef.
I
This
guess I
messaging
can
isn't for
answer
normies.
that.
This pulls people from the aggressive far left, back from the edge, and an on-ramp centrist to the left. It works. That's way for 20. The NordVPN tweet was a banger. Optics are for winning, but what is the point of winning if our memes die in darkness? Also, go look at what any pro-budging MAGA said back when Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked. Then talk. Solomon Marcus, thank you for the tier 1 membership. Admiral Gibbs for $5. Counterpoints the Nazi. White supremacist trying to police jokes and language is peak irony and lack of self-awareness.
Hold on, I need to respond to that. Gibbs, if I could end your fucking bloodline, I would.
Okay,
There we go.
Jesus.
yeah, let's fun.
Prove a vasectomy.
But Gibbs is white,
yeah,
right?
sure. $2 from
Yeah.
Deadly Sin to say at CP. Sandy Hooks, they were harassing parents of kids. $2 from Hunter Young said Red Pill was effective because Destiny matched aggro. $20 from Grassroots Hegemon to say gender is a social construct. Sex is what I have with Destiny's mom. $5 from Better Methodist to say it's okay to be a tard. $10 from Malik to say put blank in the gulag is funny. Aw, your kids died, should have voted Kamala is not funny. Jeff Lewis, $7 to say I think more people respect a left winger that's authentic and care about the strangers they have kids than meaning this message. $5 from Hunter Young to say civil rights was acquired by shaming and reducing explicit bigotry to shift culture for enacting effective political capital. I'm gonna only read the $5 ones, gang. Okay, you guys keep spamming the $2 ones. We're gonna up the minimum. Hunter Young for $5 to say Chaz, BLM fired but peaceful is pointed at, but it's all just MAGA hijacked narratives that the weak-willed people here perpetuate. $10 from the Justice, 35 to say as an actual elected Democrat in office, I find progressives and joke bullies divorced from reality.
When will he die? Will he die?
100% have Destiny canvas for me. 300 canvassers.
Please die, oh guy. Oh
$5
god, oh
from
god.
Daniel to say Destiny taking
Aye,
diabetes
aye.
means he's either feeling amazing or terrible right now, depending on what stage of the high he's in. LOL. $5 from Will to say Wick said, when they go low, we go lower. I reject this premise. Can anyone actually defend that what he said was worse than things Mog
I
said?
suck.
And then $5 from Soyaddle say,
Nobody
which is
said that.
I don't. No one listens to my They just taking the vibes, okay? $5 from Soyaddle to say Wick is giving us new content to talk about. $5 from Hunter Young to say Connor acknowledges MAGA is effective because otherwise groups that are seen as oppressing majority classes. That's why they flip with Epstein. $5 from Admiral Gift to say LMFAO, Nazi points, doesn't even realize he's being peak hypocrite this whole combo, complaining about being edgy and making kids jokes. Thank you for the $5 Sulak for just a smiley face. $5 from Harvey Marvey to say, has anyone demanded DNA? Oh, okay. We're not going to read that one. $5 from Hunter Young to say NSC says the garbage truck didn't help. It defends Polly Vibes, who admits to voting only on vibes, and we need to appeal to people like her, by the way. $5 from Feder Methodist to say, I've no doubt that everyone on the panel was the smartest kid on the school bus for what that's worth. Let's not mention the link of Soyboy's bus. $5 from Caleb to say what Kyla is doing is
Jesus
worse
Christ,
than
bud, you're making a fucking arm and a leg today. How many
Yes,
more you got?
It's we're almost done. It's infantilization. $5 from Noonian Star to say you can be funny and care about people. Don't let those humorless idiots have a piece of your soul. Use code Soypill to be based. $5 from Ace to say Tiny needs to stop crying about Trump if he's going to throw out the only means of beating him, aka winning elections. And $10 from Jared W to say turns out those kids in Texas didn't need critical race theory to learn about systemic failure. Drowning in it works just fine. $5 from Tesla Johnson.
Okay, 55. I don't care about the...
$5 from Cage to say who's more effective, Erudite, Destiny, or BPC. And then $5 from Ace to say Soy doesn't understand that progs are a small part of the Dem base, and Dems more so than the GOP need independent voters. Progs aren't enough to win. And that said, God, dang, give me more money. I'm gonna bring on Holly at least. Okay, now we can talk. Now we can get the comments back. Holly, cam up. What you got?
Hello, sorry. I was just talking to Dad backstage. We're gonna bring him out too.
Why not? Fuck it.
Who? Oh, Dad. Hi,
The
Dad.
shortest, fattest otaku.
You interrupted our conversation. Like, how could you?
Like I told you guys I was bringing you out.
Oh
Okay.
my god. Really? Are you
Let's get back into the
serious?
conversation,
Those people
right?
have been brought
Sure,
in?
if you-
I'll
Yeah, go
restate
ahead,
my criticisms of Steven and Soypel since they're different. My criticism of Steven is that he goes scorched earth too quickly with people who don't deserve it. And
Oh,
he
one more.
ruins
$100
opportunities.
someone gave me privately. I'm sorry, they gave me $100 to say
Yeah,
this.
fair enough.
Steven is so deeply wrong here. Before the firefighter joke, his work had real impact, especially for those on the right. For many, he was the only exposure they had to someone on the left who was both intelligent and reasonable. The left is held to higher standards because they chose to hold themselves to higher standards. They don't fail because the moment they do, it validates the right's narrative that they were never better to begin with. Okay.
Just to be clear, higher standards, if that means to you about whether or not you're telling a joke, you are so beyond fucking retarded that I don't even know how you got $100 to donate. Unless I came from some government welfare program. It's probably being cut by Trump right now, so congratulations.
That was
I
helpful.
like $100 for it. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, my criticism would be that Steven goes too quickly scorched earth, and I think it's to his detriment. I think it loses him a lot of social capital that he could otherwise have, and that he could be leveraging in times when particularly MAGA is falling apart. And I wish that you would do better because I think you're probably one of the more effective voices on the left. My criticism of Soypill is specifically your conversation with Pally. I found distasteful, and I was
I'm sick of jokes. I'm banning jokes. Humor is banned.
Standard, and I would expect that even when Pally is retarded and won't admit that her vote was bad.
Well, I'm much more calm now. So, Pally, what would it take for you to vote for Democrat in the next election? What can I say to you to get you to come to my side?
There's not just one thing that you could say to me. And I just need to reiterate, I'm not saying that the Democrats should be spending any inordinate amount of time reaching out to people like me. I've declared myself no longer a partisan for the Democratic Party. And so there's a real question, I think, within the Democratic Party of what should the approach be for building coalitions. And you have people built in, the progressives and the more left-wing part of the party, who some of them don't vote, but maybe more of them are more likely to than the moderates, the people who are the disaffected liberals. So I'm not saying that this is anything that the left, that's Connor, I see you shaking your head. I hope that's not what they do. I'm with you, but I don't feel like, I'm really truly not trying to beg to be wooed. I'm here talking as someone who formerly voted as a Democrat and talking about, yes, all the vibes and the cultural things that ultimately pushed me away. I'm not pro-Trump. I wouldn't vote for him again. I just haven't come out and said that I regret voting for him in 2024. I don't know how much that'll do for anyone. I don't, can't change the past anyway. But I'm absolutely a winnable voter in the future. It's not going to be any one thing that you say to me, so I feel.
No, it's not about what
I don't know,
what
actually.
Democrats need to do to win your vote. I mean, like, you're
I actually don't know.
Clearly, we need to be listening to what you have to say about the state of the political vibes.
Allie, because I watched the content related to this, could I ask you a couple of things about like what was off-putting about Democrats?
Or is this where the conversation should go? Like, 'cause
No,
have
I
thoughts
still
on
want
the
to beat them up over their
conversation.
Mott and Bailey. I still want to
Yeah,
come
well-
at Steven and Soy Pill for making a beautiful Mott and Bailey and hiding behind it and being like, epic
Wait, what is
debate,
the Mott
but-
and Bailey?
Okay, I keep on saying that being mean alienates the center, and you guys keep saying Republicans are in hell. They're in hell.
Because
They're
our
in
opponents
hell.
said Republicans are the meanest they've ever been, ever. And it's the first
Yeah.
time they've won the popular vote in forever.
But
So how do you reconcile
wait,
those
but
two statements?
Because you've already acknowledged that the reason why they won all of this shit seems like it was a mixture of global trends and acts of God himself.
Not
But
just that, though.
also
It doesn't
being
seem-
mean is
Okay,
effective.
so guy.
No, Trump did not win because of global issues. The Democrats lost because of global issues. How do you explain the fact that Trump swept with no competition the Republican primary after he lost the last election against the same guy who was supposed to be running again?
Why did he win the primaries? Because he has almost all of the voices and names behind him because they were sick of Joe Biden. They wanted to get rid of Biden.
Yes, just
and
like
he was the
hold on.
strongest
If I say why did somebody
He's
win an
incumbent.
election and you say it's because they got more votes than the other guy, that's obviously
No,
not what
sorry,
I'm asking.
sorry. When I
I'm
say
saying
incumbent,
Trump's
no, I'll just
divisiveness
answer it.
obviously didn't-
The answer is what I'm saying, not because he got the most votes. Sorry, if I didn't make it clear enough. What I'm saying is that he was an incumbent, right? The reason why
He wasn't an incumbent. He lost his election. He was
In
running
the
again.
Republican Party, stop being obtuse!
When I say incumbent, I don't mean to use it. If the word is incorrect, I apologize. What I mean is he was president for 4 years and had 4 to 5 years already of advertising behind him, which
Why
the
did he
years
win
of
in 2016
advertising
then?
How do
behind him
I-
is super important. What?
Why did he win in
Because
2016?
Hillary Clinton eats babies.
Hillary Clinton was so utterly
No, no, no.
unelected.
No, he won the
that's why
primary
Hillary
in
lost. Yes, he won the
2016.
primary. There were way more people
Because
that
the
advocated for your
moderates
guys'
split the
strategies.
vote. No. Fuck this. I'm not gonna have you rewrite history right in front of me. I know because I was fucking furious. Trump had like 37% of the fucking vote, and there were 3 moderates splitting the Republican vote. If those fucking punts, Kasich or fucking Rubio, had dropped out, then we would have rallied around a moderate candidate, and we wouldn't have this fucking problem, and I wouldn't have to deal with the
was a
goddamn
moderate-
Republican Party as it
excuse
currently
me, Trump was
exists.
a moderate candidate. What are you talking about? Compared to fucking Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio, you're like staple neocons? Trump's policy-wise was a moderate in that primary.
Do you think MAGA is a moderate movement, Stephen?
In terms of, well, now we're moving south on the political axis instead of left-right. Hold on.
Do you
Wait, I don't know
think
why
some
you're...
Republicans
wait,
saw
wait,
that he was a
Let
repellent,
Destiny go.
incompetent piece of shit all the way back in 2015?
Trump policy-wise was a moderate when he was running in the primary. The fact that he took like a non-committal position related to funding Planned Parenthood, the fact that he bragged about being in Hillary Clinton's fucking wedding photos and shit like that, the fact that he seemed like kind of indecisive or back and forth on like the Iraq War compared to like the hawkish neocons and shit that you had on stage, especially in the form of Cruz and Rubio, he was definitely more moderate than the other guys in terms of policy. He won because
Do
he
you
was
think, hold on. I feel like you're talking past my point. Okay. Well, maybe moderate is the incorrect word, but there was something called the Republican Party that cared about a republic and talked about the Constitution of the United States and talked about freedom of expression, freedom of speech, the Second Amendment, family values, all that bullshit. That all existed when Trump was there. But Trump hijacked the Republican Party with a cult of personality, and some people, such as myself, saw that that was happening in 2015 and thought
Can
he
you
was a
just
piece of
think
shit.
about
There were
just real quick,
three
real quick.
normal
No,
Republicans
think about what you're saying.
True.
You said
the vote.
You said cult of personality. What was that personality based on?
Wait, but we're talking about different people though, and that's
Why
what
can
I
I
was
hijack?
saying
No, follow through. No. Why the cult of
Why does it matter?
personality? Well, because it was based on being mean and divisive.
That's appealing to
40%
a certain
of the Republican
segment
Party
people.
being dumb as fuck didn't have to do with the original point that we were making.
It's not about being dumb. It's the fact that it's effective rhetoric. It works.
I don't know
So
if
you think
there's
that
a point
Trump
that we
won
should follow down here.
2016?
Yeah, but also anti-immigration rhetoric works. So should we all just become anti-immigrant now? Which seems to be the trend, by the way. It's not just about winning. It's about... Oh, God.
Because it was mean and
It
divisive.
works. It
How many
works
times
for
did we hear
certain
because he
people.
tells
Wasn't
it
it-
like it is?
What? Yeah,
That's
wasn't it way
number
more
one.
effective though because Hillary was like swinging at him super hard and he got to always claim counterpunching? Didn't that help his claims?
He
Trump
literally had his
arrangement
audience
syndrome.
chanting, lock her up. No, it was not because Hillary swung first.
What do
Absolutely
you
not.
mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? Trump was way more mean in that general election, and I was even asking why he won the primary. He was mean in the primary. He had nicknames for everybody.
He's a uniquely
An
unlikable
act of God,
candidate.
possibly. It sounds like an act of God. Moderates were fighting over things.
Okay,
and
so
Trump
I can
had
answer
vote.
to the
We're talking about
2016 primary.
different
Just real
people.
quick, Tolly, please. The 2016 primary, one of the reasons, the major reason I would say that Trump won in that is because he was anti-Iraq war. That was why. He was one of the few people on that stage who was anti-Iraq war. He was seen
Yeah.
as, yes, he absolutely was. And he was seen as
That's true, yeah, I agree
anti-moderate.
with That's you on not the this. reason he
No,
won.
it was one of the major
Yes,
ones.
it
He was
is.
seen as anti-establishment in the same way that Bernie was.
He was
right?
heterodox.
And he was seen as a firebomb into the system that was going to change it up. People didn't really understand. It wasn't his divisiveness so much. It was that he was seen as an
Didn't he
outsider.
shit on them
and
all?
he
Wasn't he like
Yes.
super effective in the
He was
debate?
seen as a
very
businessman.
Well, he wasn't
gonna
just mean though, right? He was
business
mean in the right way. No, he
People
was mean in
said
the right
that
way.
business
Shitting on Ted
people
Cruz's
were
wife and by
Oh my
saying
god,
that
I
running
was not I
countries.
argued the whole fucking time, you
I
stupid
remember.
motherfucker. I've been saying the whole time that he's been mean in an effective way, not in an
What does
ineffective
that
way.
mean, though? The only thing
That's
he said
why
was
we
don't
keep
get
asking
points
what that
first.
means.
People like when you shit on institutionalists for institutionalist type
Oh, God. Oh, gosh. How do I beat this boss? Whatever.
things. They
Like
don't
his
like when
ugly
you're
wife?
smug and
Like his
condescending.
ugly
They don't like when you shit on their
Was his
kids.
wife ugly? Wait, was his wife ugly?
No, but she made that joke and he got really popular off stuff like that.
He wasn't
Calling Rosie
ugly?
O'Donnell fat. Ted Cruz is Heidi Cruz is not that ugly. No.
Oh, do they hate Rosie O'Donnell? Is that or the period joke with Megyn Kelly, or the jokes about McCain being a prisoner of war? Or like, what are all these unpopular
Yes.
things?
I don't
that-
want you to have the exact
No,
policy,
I-
but that's why we keep asking you what is effective
Okay.
meanness because you're not
I've
against
had enough.
certain meanness.
This has been gone too long. We've been streaming screaming for a long a long time. So I guess I'm gonna head out now. Thank you all for being here for the 2 hours, 30 minutes of stream. Thank you. I love you all. I find you all to be beautiful and amazing. Change directions? Oh, we'll try again. There's more cancers in my lungs. But also, if you like my work and all that stuff, then lucyhaza.org/live and consider, donating or subscribing, because I have some work to do in Ukraine, which I want to do. I want to do some work. Please help. Also, groceries and stuff. I'm like Xander Hall in this regard. Please lock in and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna raid you into somebody beautiful. It's gonna be great. This has been a lovely stream, and now I'm gonna raid you into Ukrainian Storks. Yeah, just $5 exactly. Just $5. Just $5. And stuff like that. Okay. Enjoy some Ukrainian Storks. That's the only thing that's live right now. Bye-bye. 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 Goodbye.